really being dishonest with the people of Nebraska on many, many things.
So your opponent, Independent Dan Osborne, you say, he doesn't support border security, supports amnesty, Social Security for illegals. How does that play in Nebraska?
Not well at all. That's why I say when Nebraskans hear about the few things he has taken stands on, they realize that he aligns with the Democrat Party. He is not an independent, and he's certainly way too far left for our state.
What about the abortion issue? My understanding is Osborne claims to be pro-life, but would codify Roe v. Wade. How does he justify that?
He doesn't, which is kind of sad. A lot of the things that are being picked up nationally, like our discussion here, it's difficult to get the press to focus on that in Nebraska. He says he's personally pro-life, but yes, he wants to codify Roe. He says he's personally pro-life, but yet he says a woman should be able to make these decisions on her own. He shouldn't be telling women what to do. We all know that means he has no core value when it comes to this. In fact, on one interview he did give here in Nebraska, he was asked if there was anything he wouldn't compromise on, and he said, "Oh no, he's pretty malleable. He could change in his opinion and compromise on everything." That is not somebody we need in the United States Senate. We need somebody who's honest about where they stand. We need somebody who has strong core values and who is not afraid to stand up and fight for those values.
Obviously, every couple of years, when you're the minority party in the Senate or the House, you're hoping that you can win back the majority. There's great hope on the Republican side that this cycle, the GOP will take back the majority in the Senate. I know from covering Capitol Hill every day for about a decade that being the minority party is not much fun. So where are you on that? Are you confident Republicans will regain control of the Senate?
I feel really good about it, Mike. We have a great opportunity here. We'll get West Virginia. Montana looks good. There's really a lot of strength and action going on in the blue wall of Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Those states look good. Nevada and Arizona look good too. So we've got a great opportunity here to retake the Senate. We should keep every single incumbent who's up this year. So I feel good about it, and I'm looking forward to being able to get some good things done for the people of this country.
Obviously, it's not clear who's going to win the presidential race at this point. I know you have your preference, but if Kamala Harris were to win the White House, what about the importance of a Republican majority being a check on her?
Oh, it's huge. It is so important that we get the majority in the United States Senate to be able to really do our job in oversight, especially when it comes to the president's nominations. And if it is Kamala Harris, I anticipate that her nominees will be in the same vein that we have seen from the Biden administration. And in many cases, these people have not been qualified. And that's why you see straight Democrat support. And for the most part, Republicans are not voting to confirm these folks. They aren't qualified. They don't have the training. They don't have the experience. They're there as true political appointments who are bringing their ideology with them. So it's extremely important that we do that. It's important that we can have oversight on these agencies so we can roll back some of these regulations that have been out there. And it would be much, much easier to do that with Donald Trump in the White House. That's why it's so important that we elect Donald Trump and get him in the White House, because we've got to get America back on track.
Looking ahead to Election Day, most states rely on the winner-take-all system to assign their electoral votes. Can you explain to our national audience how different Nebraska is?
Yes, we are. We split our congressional electoral votes. We have 3 Congress people, and so those 3 votes are split on whoever gets the majority of the popular vote within that congressional district. So you'll hear a lot about, and Maine does that too. Maine and Nebraska are the only 2 states, but you hear a lot about the blue dot in Nebraska, and that is CD2. The Douglas County area, Omaha. What we're seeing there is a lot of money coming in from the Harris campaign. I was at an event and heard it's about 21 million that's gone into Omaha now with the Harris campaign to pick up that one electoral vote there. You add that to the 10 million in attack ads against me, which we're going to see both of those numbers increase. That's a lot of outside money. That's a lot of out-of-state money coming into Nebraska. Governor Walz was not in Omaha. He was in a suburb of Omaha in Papillion. And they're working to get that one electoral vote because they know that this is going to be a close election. But Republicans are organized, working hard, door to door, all across the state, and a big focus there in CD2.
I haven't asked you this before, but I'm curious, would you favor going to a winner-take-all system in terms of the electoral votes in Nebraska?
Yes. You know, when I was in the Nebraska legislature, I supported a bill on that before. So it to me, it doesn't make sense that Nebraska is different, really different from the rest of the country. In fact, if you look at the breakdown of congressional districts, if every state did this split that we do here in Nebraska, Republicans would win, hands down. Mm-hmm. But the Democrats, obviously, in Nebraska, like the idea that we don't have winner take all. But yet they attack Republicans all the time for saying, you know, the big money spent in elections, even though Republicans, we are always outspent in elections, but they don't like all the money in elections. Well, look at 21 million of outside money coming into the state of Nebraska because we have this split in our electoral votes. It's pretty ironic that they would encourage that and talk about how it's going to help the economy when usually all of us don't like out of state and dark money coming in.
Indeed. Senator Deb Fischer, the great state of Nebraska. We know how busy you are. Grateful for your time today. Safe travels. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Mike. Have a good day.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1 and newstalkstl.com.
Robert is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
I am Robert Strickler. My wife Joyce and I have been married for 53 years. Certainly one of the really important things in my life are our children and our grandchildren. I am essentially a writer. I've been involved in communications. I've been an avid fly fisherman. I've been taking Prevagen for at least 8 years. For me, the greatest benefit over the years has been that Prevagen seems to help me recall things and also think more clearly, have a crisper ability to remember and think through things. And I enthusiastically recommend Prevagen. It has helped me an awful lot.
Prevagen is available in stores everywhere without a prescription. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because Medishare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 844-53-BIBLE. That's 844-53-BIBLE. 844-53.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
The foremost authority on China, Gordon Chang, will join us Monday at 9:41 and Monday's Back to the Future Day.
Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Chris Cooper, host of Serenity Wealth Now.
October is estate planning month. It's an important topic, not something we want to talk about. What happens after we pass away? Something happens to us and we cannot make decisions for ourselves. Well, folks, you have to have these conversations while you can, because if you don't have these conversations, somebody has a plan for you. You know who it is? It's either the government or maybe it's a family member that hasn't had this conversation with you. So if you don't talk about this with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones, and you don't put those plans into place, the government's going to have a plan for you. We have these conversations all year long. But with October being estate planning month, we are hosting a workshop Tuesday the 22nd, Thursday the 24th over at Stone Summit Steak and Seafood. Very important topics. We're going to talk about wills. We're going to talk about trust. We're going to talk about advanced directives, tax mitigation strategies, how to preserve and protect your legacy. Our financial goals outlive us. Make sure you attend. Join us. The information is right there on our website, serenitywealthnow.com. That is serenitywealthnow.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
Hey, want to amaze your friends when they visit? They will be impressed when they see your custom-made drapes, blinds, or shutters. Michael Proctor will personally help you pick out the correct colors to truly showcase your home. Then he will actually design and personally install everything. No overhead markup. That's going to save you a lot of money on drapes, blinds, or shutters.
Call for an appointment at your home. Spell Proctor like doctor.
Are you ready to stand up for life? Meet Navy veteran and Republican candidate for State Senate District 1, Robert Crump. Endorsed by Missouri Right to Life, Crump is a fierce guardian for all life, from the unborn to the elderly. He stands strong like the Gateway Arch, bold and unshakable with the force of freedom. Robert Crump is the clear choice for traditional family values. Go for the leader who will protect our most vulnerable, Robert Crump.
Paid for by Crump for State Senate 2024. Chris Clark, Treasurer.
What happens next?
You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues.
Happens right here.
Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat.
The government and Donald Trump certainly should not be telling a woman what to do with her body.
America Decides 2024.
That he would weaponize the Department of Justice.
If she won the election, they'll go back to destroying our country.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
With leukemia, it just pushes me to be stronger.
With a big-time heart.
I always do trust in God.
Go inside their lives and follow their faith.
Everybody needs help tackling life.
God Family Football, a new series streaming now. Part of Fox Faith on Fox Nation. Sign up at foxnation.com.
Look at what's happening from the Fox News Rundown.
Good morning. It's Monday, October 21st, 2024. I'm Ted Linder, and this is the Fox News Rundown. President Biden making some stops across the country, touting his administration's work. Fox's Jill Nato's got details in this look at the White House week ahead.
Coming up today, the president speaks at the White House for a National Arts and Humanities reception. Tuesday, he welcomes the Prime Minister of Slovenia. Then President Biden heads to New Hampshire, where he'll be speaking about lowering the cost of prescription drugs. On Friday, he's keeping a promise to visit the Gila River Indian community in Arizona. There, he's expected to speak about his record of delivering for tribal communities. From there, the president's scheduled to head to his home state of Delaware. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
The FAA and NTSB are investigating a deadly chopper crash into a Houston radio tower. It happened on Sunday night. Houston Mayor John Whitmire thanking first responders for their quick response.
The first responders, Houston Fire, literally a block away were the first responders. knew they had a tragic scene on their hands. And now the DPS, the federal government, Houston Fire and Police are doing their job.
The chopper took off from Ellington Field Joint Reserve Base. The FAA and NTSB will continue that investigation today. Baseball's top two teams going to meet in the World Series following the Los Angeles Dodgers NL pennant clinching victory over the New York Mets on Sunday night. Fox's Tim McMaster has more.
The Dodgers won 98 games in the regular season, the most in baseball. They're 4 away from a championship.
Little man with a big impact in his first October in
LA beat the Mets 10-5 in Game 6 of the National League Championship Series to punch their ticket to the World Series. The Dodgers and Yankees will meet in the World Series for the 12th time, but the first time since 1981. Tim McMaster, Fox News.
And we are now just 2 weeks and 1 day away from Election Day 2024. I'm Ted Lindner, and this is the Fox News Rundown.
This is the Fox News Rundown.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1 and newstalkstl.com. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Monday, what new chaos and crises did Kamala Harris cause over the weekend? Senator Jim Talent joins us at 4:25, 5:25. Red State Headlines with Susie Moore.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps, weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Dr. Randy Tobler here, and I know that when you're looking for a dentist, you have to make sure you choose a dental practice that's compatible with you and the needs of your family. Well, I'd like to tell you about my dentist, Dr. Dan Cusimano, and his partner, Megan Dwyer, and their team at Advanced Dentistry at St. Charles. The great team at Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles can accommodate all of your cosmetic and restorative needs because their passion is general dentistry. Implants, crowns, bridges, even dentures. That what you need the most is what they'll provide in a personalized, focused way. And they can provide therapeutic and cosmetic options like Botox and dermal fillers. Get to know them and all they have to offer by calling 636-978-0226 or visit them on the web at advanceddentistrynow.com. That's Dr. Daniel Cusimano and Dr. Megan Dwyer at Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles.
That's Advanced Dentistry Now, 636-978-0226. Or visit them on the web at advanceddentistrynow.com.
Missouri, your voice matters.
Jobs and the economy are the most important issues in the coming election.
I think we need some kind of change.
The Farmers Co-op, Old Town Country Store, and News Talk STL remind you that November 5th, you have the power to shape our state and nation's future.
My vote counts.
Get out to vote November 5th, because the future is in your hands.
Everybody has the right to vote.
I do vote because I want to matter.
Get out to vote. Brought to you by the Farmers Co-op, Old Town Country Store, Joe Bacardi's, and Senior Memorial Life.
I can tell you how to get a free quick quiz to see how artificial intelligence can boost your company's potential. You go to priglobal.ai, priglobal.ai. St. Louis Business Magazine listing PRI as one of the leading IT companies, and PRI has its own AI lab to develop what your business needs. priglobal.ai, priglobal.ai.
The O'Reilly Update, brought to you by Seavers JCB. Visit them at their St. Peter's location.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, are you feeling the impact of the recent changes in the timeshare industry? My friends at Lone Star Transfer are the only company I trust to help you. For more than a decade, they have successfully helped over 20,000 owners get out of their timeshare with an A-plus rating at the Better Business Bureau. Customer service is their priority. For a free consultation and a guaranteed solution, 855-551-7066 or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. On this Monday, Americans are divided over Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, but some voters may be missing the big picture. If you vote Democrat on November 5th, you are voting for the most progressive candidate in United States history. That's how committed left Kamala Harris is. The question then becomes, it's not really about her. It's about how the progressives govern. I'll send you to San Francisco. You can take a look for yourself. Come to New York City, where I live. It's a mess. How about Chicago? Unbelievable violence. Baltimore, same thing. Washington, D.C., the carjack capital of the world. All are governed by progressives who don't really want to punish criminals. Kamala Harris is right in that soup. She has never repudiated one progressive tenet, not one ever in her whole political career. She is a machine candidate, and the machine is the progressive left wing of the Democratic Party. Do you believe most voters know that? I don't think they do. But if the progressives gain federal power, what's happening in San Francisco will happen everywhere. Back in a moment. If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, listen up. Car Shield is a low-cost monthly vehicle protection plan now available to you. This protection plan is at an all-time low price. Please call 800-925-7584 for a free quote. Drivers who activate today will also receive free roadside assistance and towing at no additional cost. That is 800-925-7584 right now. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I call this layers weather, as in jackets in the morning and shorts in the afternoon. In fact, the next couple of afternoons, pretty warm for mid-October. I've got us at 80 today with mostly sunny skies and a south wind at 5 to 10. Back down into the low 50s tonight and early Tuesday, and then even warmer tomorrow, 82 Tuesday afternoon. And believe it or not, a chance of rain tomorrow. Now, it looks pretty spotty, looks fairly light. Let's be ready for a couple of passing showers. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
I really like all the things you're saying.
News, analysis, opinion.
Thank you very, very much.
News Talk STL. Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. Having your first cup of coffee? Mike's on his third. This is Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
The woke mind virus just won't go away. And we are seeing again that it appears to be just entrenched in the government schools. Hey, I'm Mike Ferguson. Thanks for making News Talk STL part of this Monday. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. We've got a couple different school districts to talk about here. A little bit later on, there's been a civil rights complaint filed against the Kirkwood School District for discriminating against white staff and white students. That's not the only school district in St. Louis County. We spoke with State Senator Nick Schroer on Friday's program. A whistleblower went to him about something that's happening in the Parkway School District that is a little bit different of approach, but the same concept, and that is dividing students into groups by race. Yep, it's a woke leftist thing. Here's the update that Nick gave us on Friday.
You posted on social media, I think it was yesterday, you got word of something from a whistleblower, and it is a school district here in the area that apparently is setting aside, for lack of a better term, a safe space for students who, want to get away from white people? I mean, this sounds outrageous, sounds ridiculous. What is it that you've been told?
So we were told, after dealing with all of the DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion, I call it something totally different. I don't know if I can say it on the radio. And then, all the CRT and our taxpayer dollars paying basically to brainwash our kids and do segregating them once again and hating races just because they're a certain skin color. So one of the teachers came forward and indicated this is happening just outside of my district. This is in St. Louis County. A lot of the Democrats are very upset. Not that this is going on, but that I would, act on something for a Missourian outside of my district. So we sunshine to see what type of diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates are coming out. And one of the emails, we're still going through a lot of them, so this could be the tip of the iceberg, basically said how, look, tell all your students if they're a certain color, not white, that there's a special safe space set aside for them. And we're going back to the era of Jim Crow. We're going back to the era of segregation, which the Democrats started way back when. But I thought as a society, we've deemed that we're not treating people like that anymore. We're not segregating people anymore. And we're just going to have to go back to the drawing board and stand and fight, for lack of a better term, stand and fight this next session and make sure that all the Republicans, not just the Freedom Caucus, are going to get behind prohibiting this.
Which school district are we talking about?
So this is Parkway. This is the Parkway School District. And it's strange that after I posted this, there were a lot of adults that came out saying, they're about my age, maybe a little bit younger, saying, this has been going on in Parkway for a very long time, which begs the question, what in the hell is happening in our government schools?
Mm-hmm. Morning, Nick. Gabe here. So I guess the whistleblower came through with you're suggesting multiple emails, because I only saw a screenshot of this particular one. So you're saying that it goes much deeper than this.
It does go much deeper. And honestly, because this whistleblower came forward and they said, hey, this is what you'll find if you'll sunshine the district. I don't even know if that email has been unveiled from the sunshine request in Parkway. And I will tell you, look, we're putting everybody on blast right now. All the school districts. I've had other teachers coming forward from other school districts outside of my district and in saying, we've got similar things that are going on. So get your evidence ready, because we're going to be coming after you, and we're going to be meeting with Andrew Bailey next week to see how we can deal with this from the AG's perspective as well.
Have you heard any justifications of this yet? The people defending this, oh no, well, this is because of X, Y, and Z initiative, and it's okay.
Something happened.
Something happened. It's like, this is why this is okay. Have you heard any of that stuff yet?
No, not necessarily recently. It all dates back to what the Democrats did to certain communities way back when. And, I don't understand how Pacific Islanders and Indian individuals are getting thrown into a lot of this stuff, but it's just madness. And it's more division that's happening in our schools, which our kids don't need to be concentrating on division. Our kids, for mathematics they do, but not for their differences. And look, I grew up in Ferguson, Missouri, where none of us looked alike. We all looked different, and none of us cared. And that's a society that I want my kids to grow up in. No matter if you're a boy, girl, if you have short hair, long hair, black, white, and whatever it is. If you like Donald Trump or if you like Kamala Harris, we're going to judge you by the content of your character. Are you a good person? Are you contributing to society? And not judging people and putting them into buckets based upon their differences.
Hey, Nick, let me follow up with that. You said you're meeting with Attorney General Andrew Bailey. What does the law, as you understand, what does the law say now about this sort of thing? I mean, is this a matter of school districts have the legal flexibility to segregate, to have this sort of woke, bigoted stuff? Or is there a chance that they're running in violation of the law? Because it sounds like a lot of these districts are basically trying to keep this under wraps as much as possible. And we're going to have to do some disinfecting with some sunlight.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% correct, and they're trying to hide this stuff. They're trying to just keep it behind closed doors like they did during COVID. Remember when we all saw, the emails from parents about, critical race theory and the teachers going back and forth saying, we have to disguise this stuff. And then LeGarrette King and Francis Howe basically telling teachers the same thing, that we have to disguise this critical race theory and Project 1619 from parents. And this is what's happening now. You can't go to a Parkway School District Facebook page or social media page or even a parents group to find out that there's these groups that you can segregate from certain members of society. And I think there is some flexibility in the law when it comes to some of these after school groups, if it is adhering to law. And with this one, I don't think it does. I think arguably this is a breach of the law. Maybe that's why they're trying to hide it from parents, conceal it from the media. I think from talking to other people, this issue, again, this is the tip of the iceberg. I think this issue digs down even deeper into all of the different schools across the state, not just in St. Louis County.
We're visiting with State Senator Nick Schroer, talking about a new word we're getting out of the Parkway School District, a whistleblower who says they've set up apparently some sort of safe space. We're talking a physical space, and specifically for students who are not white to get away from students who are white. I mean, or am I just oversimplifying? And you mentioned the after school. I mean, if there's a black student union or a, whatever the case is that you see on campuses, voluntary groups, I guess you could make room for a lot of that stuff. But in this case right here, it is a physical space that says you are not allowed to go here because of the color of your skin, and you are allowed to go here because of the color of your skin, specifically so you can get away from that person because of the color of their skin. I mean, that sounds very, that sounds very 1930s or 1940s, but that's what we're dealing with right now in the Parkway School District.
It reminds me of the No Irish Need Apply or the white and black drinking fountains. I mean, we've seen this segregation. We've seen this division. This divisiveness is not new when it comes to the Democrat Party. They love reading the Communist Manifesto, and they know how to put us in buckets to try to get that edge and get people emotionally involved when it's not factually justified. So, yeah, to me, it's very upsetting that this is happening in not a university, not a public university. This is happening in high school when you've got kids that are still, experiencing different changes in their bodies, and they're very self-conscious. And now they've got to look around because there's a beware of the whites sign out there saying, look, here's a safe space. If one of those whites comes and gets you, you can come hide out in here, which no, we don't need any of that. Yeah. Look, we need to be treating everybody in the same manner. And look, if there are bullies on campus, deal with that. Don't just say all whites are bad because there might be one bad apple.
I mean, this just shows you this, the government school system, public school system has been ideologically captured. From K through 12, it is ideologically captured. These are the things. And when you posted this on social media, Nick, these are the things that do not surprise me. When I saw this, is it outrageous? Yes. Is it racist and bigoted? Absolutely. Is it surprising? No, it's not. Yeah. And now systemically, what you're describing is efforts to hide it from the policymakers to whom they're supposed to be accountable. That would be you. And then also hide it from media, and in a lot of ways, hide it from parents. And when you're doing that much work to keep what you are doing secret, logic should tell you you are on the wrong side of the ethics and morality.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like when, one of my girls, I'll give them a tablet to play a game or something. And if they're trying to hide the tablet from me, not let me see it, it automatically puts my antennas up like, oh, what are you doing over there? Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening with these schools nowadays, that you've got teachers coming forward saying, I don't feel safe. The teacher doesn't feel safe enough to publicly come forward saying, this is wrong, this is illegal, this is immoral, this is racist, because they know that they're going to have the left-wing mob come after them, and their job's going to be in jeopardy. So we need a culture change. We need to go back to the era of common sense where, when I grew up in a very diverse community, none of us cared. It's, are you a good person or are you not a good person? That's what I love about this network. You'll have anybody that wants to come on. I mean, if you or a liberal mindset, if you're black, white, if you're a legal immigrant or legal immigrant, come on, voice your opinion. And that's the safe space that we need in our schools, is the ability to foster that mindset of, look, we're going to protect you regardless of your viewpoint, and even your skin color too.
Nick, I got to read the first 3 sentences of this email that you shared, because I think the listeners really need to hear exactly what we're talking about. And also it sets up my question. Please share this information with any student that identifies as Black, African-American, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, multiracial, or Pacific Islander. The DEI Study Lounge is back! ! Any student from the aforementioned groups that may need extra support academically and or quiet space to work after school is able to utilize this space in the flex room. Okay, so the extra support academically suggests that we're talking about tutoring. This suggests to me that basically all of the students, except for the white students who might be struggling academically, have an extra layer now added to their instruction. Is that how you're reading this too?
It is. It really is. And let me point out, this DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion, inclusion.
Yeah.
You're excluding certain members of society. You're excluding certain kids. These aren't bad adults that we're dealing with. These are kids. And now you're saying, yeah, if you come from a poor white family and you may have, some troubles at home, now we don't have a space for you. But guess what? If you're a certain skin color, you can come out and here, you can party, and we'll actually help you with tutoring. These opportunities should be given to all taxpayers, all kids, all families. And it's insanity that any superintendent, any teacher, any principal would allow this to happen. Now, I will tell you, as soon as I got this stuff, we got the sunshine packet back. We're going through it. As soon as I stumbled upon that, I reached out to Senator Cindy O'Loughlin, who's more than likely going to be the one taking the reins of the Senate next year. She was just at a meeting with Carla Esslinger, a former senator who's now the head of DESE. And I said, Senator, we're going to be dealing with this. So whenever you speak to her again, bring this up. And she was right. She was immediately texting her and getting the word that we are going to be dealing with this. So she needs to find a way to try and spearhead these efforts at stopping this stuff in these public schools before session starts.
Yeah, that's because otherwise what you've got is, what do we do in the next session to address this when there are so many other things that need to be addressed? We're talking about unfinished business from previous sessions and now this right here as well. I mean, it's just kind of mind-boggling, and the reaction from the establishment, from the system, has been run, cover, protect ourselves, don't let people know. Come hell or high water, we're going to put this left-wing indoctrination into this CRT-based, this DEI-based, even though the legislature has made the will known of this. Is this something that can be addressed in law, or does the current law already address this?
Yeah, I think the current law already addresses this. And like so many things, like even in the Winsfield School District, when the Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, had to sue to make sure that they were abiding by the Sunshine Law and the Open Records Law, and they weren't going into closed meetings for things that they shouldn't have been doing. I mean, we have lawbreakers all over the place right now. So I think that there's going to be a remedy for this. If DESE can't find one, I think the Attorney General should be able to go after them. But for anybody who needs a good laugh going into the weekend, go to my social media. Go to Nick B. Schroer on Twitter or Facebook and pull up this post where I have the email and look at some of the responses from the Democrats. I mean, this CRT brainwashing goes deep.
All right, from Parkway to a complaint filed against the Kirkwood School District. It seems that a lot of these public schools, these government schools, are having a harder and harder time hiding this just racial theory, critical theory nonsense and indoctrination that they're trying to put into young people. So we're going to talk to our friends at Parents Defending Education here in just about 45 minutes and get the update on that at 6:35. We got your first morning news dump of the week coming your way here in about 2 minutes and 14 seconds on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
All the information I need on the drive to work.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
I keep it on throughout the day, whether it's local, national, or something big that's happening overseas.
News, analysis, and opinion.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
She learned the value of hard work and responsibility at her family's small business at an early age. Ann Wagner took those same hard-working Missouri values to Washington. She's made it her job to keep the radical left from harming your job. Today, in the midst of Joe Biden's out-of-control inflation, Ann Wagner protects us by working to lower costs for families. As a mother of 3, she understands the work and has done it to keep your home and community safe. That's why Ann Wagner fought to secure our border and stop traffickers from smuggling fentanyl and illegal immigrants into our communities, and why she gave law enforcement the tools they need to defend us. And Ann Wagner took a stand against the defund the police radicals who will leave us in harm's way. She'll always back our brave law enforcement officers, putting conservative values to work for us. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Chris Stegall, he is with the Herzog Foundation. The FCC fast tracks approval of Soros-affiliated groups' purchase of 200 radio stations.
You know how Ursula, the big, fat, ugly sea witch, makes a deal with the Little Mermaid and says, I'll let you walk on land, but I want your voice? Well, George Soros is the big, fat sea witch, fellas.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps, weekdays at 4
on News Talk STL.
News, analysis,
I'm glad you're talking about this.
Opinion.
I'm glad you're fired up about it, too, because I know I am.
News Talk STL.
Hey everyone, this is State Senator Nick Schroer. I am the host of Stand and Fight every Sunday night. Right now, let's hear more of Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show here on News Talk STL.
All right, Kamala finds religion, and Donald finds cheeseburgers.
And fries, too, I
And
think.
fries. This was such a weird weekend in the campaign. Oh, can this just be over? Also, the next ramp up of the election starts this week. And a local university is cutting jobs in order to cut the budget. This one's interesting. It might show a picture of kind of what's happening at one of our local woke universities. 5:53 right now. Let's go ahead and dump some news on you.
The Morning News Dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks. The Morning News Dump.
I'm just going to put this out there right around 6:20 or so. I'm going to ask the question, why is everybody losing their minds over the McDonald's drive-through photo op? I mean, it's like, everyone's like, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm like, it's a photo op in a campaign. But okay, all right. So 6:20 or so. Let's talk about that there.
It was hilarious.
It was funny. It was a very well done troll of Kamala Harris. That was funny. All right. Of course, speaking of Kamala Harris, she continues her campaign for support in the Black community. And that should be a red flag and a panic moment for the Democrats right now if their, frankly, non-white nominee is trying to win over Black voters. They got some big problems. Congressman Byron Donalds was on Fox's Life, Liberty, and Levin over the weekend, reacting to the plan that Kamala Harris laid out that included those forgivable loans to start up businesses.
When she came up with that plan, basically it was free loans, which is just giving money away, and weed. And there's a lot of Black men out here who are like, really? That's what you think of us? That is why the Democrats have been losing support amongst Black men in particular, but men overall, specifically Kamala Harris.
I thought it was kind of condescending. We're going to give you these big loans and you never have to pay it back. Well, then be honest about it. Then you're just basically saying we're going to take somebody else's money and give it to you. So once again, Life, Liberty, and Levin, you can see that pretty much on Fox's website and stuff, wherever you find Levin stuff. All right. Department of Justice is suing the Commonwealth of Virginia. Yeah, they're accusing it of violating federal law by eliminating non-citizens from the voter rolls too shortly before the election. This is really weird. Governor Glenn Youngkin was on Fox News Sunday. He says, no, we're not just purging people. This is what happens. This is being done based on a 2006 law that was signed into place by who? Democrat Tim Kaine.
When someone walks into one of our DMVs and self-identifies as a non-citizen, and then they end up on the voter rolls, either purposely or by accident, that we go through a process, individualized, not systematic, an individualized process based on that person's self-identification as a non-citizen to give them 14 days to affirm they are a citizen.
And Virginia also has same-day voter registration if you feel that you were wrongly or accidentally removed from the poll. So the Department of Justice there is saying, they're not saying, well, you can't do it. They're saying, well, you just can't do it this soon before an election, despite having months, if not years, to make sure your voter registration is right. So bizarre. All right, on the Missouri side, speaking of elections, no excuse early voting opens up tomorrow. Yep, as always, contact your election board or your county clerk for the times and locations that is available to you. All right, Elon Musk, you've seen this. Elon Musk now says he's going to give away $1 million per day to someone, and I think this is limited to people who are in swing states, who signs a new petition that he started online regarding supporting the U.S. Constitution. He gave out the first of the awards at a Pennsylvania rally for Donald Trump. Governor Josh Shapiro, Democrat governor of Pennsylvania, was on NBC News's Meet the Press talking about that whole promotion.
Musk obviously has a right to be able to express his views. He's made it very, very clear that he supports Donald Trump. I don't, obviously, we have a difference of opinion. I don't deny him that right. But when you start flowing this kind of money into politics, I think it raises serious questions that folks may want to take a look at.
Okay, so technically, the award would go to somebody who is signing the petition. So technically, it's not for supporting a campaign. So at this point, it appears that what Musk is doing is actually legal. All right. The Blues are off today. They host the Jets tomorrow. Blues are 4-2-0 so far. And the World Series is set. Going to be the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Oh, boy.
Series gets underway Friday in Los Angeles. Guess who was the National League Championship Series MVP?
I heard it was a former Cardinal.
Tommy Edman.
How about that?
News, analysis, opinion.
This has been a deadly storm.
Category 4 hurricane.
Historic, epic, life-threatening flooding.
1 million that are without power.
Israel's iron fist can reach anywhere in the Middle East.
It's not just Hamas.
Right now, Hezbollah is in shambles.
The American people are going to be shocked by what we will report to them about the failures by the Secret Service.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
St. Louis is number 1
for conservative talk.
Looking for an underwater adventure or a scaly new friend? Dive into Tropical World Pets on Watson Road. For 32 years, this family-owned wonderland has been St. Louis's go-to destination for all things aquatic and reptilian. With over 7,000 square feet of aquariums, we're home to the area's largest selection of freshwater fish, including rare cichlids you won't find anywhere else. But that's not all. We've got tarantulas, snakes, and lizards galore. Tropical World Pets, 314-849-4020, or visit twpstl.com.
Seavers JCB is where you need to go for the industry's best compact track loaders, featuring the iconic single-arm JCB power boom and side door entry. JCB compact track loaders are stronger and safer than conventional twin-arm machines, and they deliver the power and performance you need. For a limited time, get financing rates as low as 0.99% on new JCB compact track loaders, or take a generous cash incentive. Stop into your local Seavers JCB or visit seaversjcb.com.
Are you a St. Louis small business owner looking to boost your brand? Blue Ocean Media Group offers affordable video production that packs a punch. From social media content to branded promotional clips, we'll help you stand out in the digital crowd. Professional quality, small business prices. Let's tell your story together. Learn more at blueomg.com. That's blueomg.com. Blue Ocean Media. Big impact videos for small business budgets.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green.
This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at
newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. GOP presidential nominee Donald Trump took his campaign for the White House to Lancaster, Pennsylvania last night, vowing to cut taxes on average Americans if he's reelected.
No tax on tips also, as you know, and no tax for all different groups we're covering, right? And no tax on overtime. So if you work overtime, that's been the big sleeper. And you know, another good one, I think something that's going to be really good is you can fully deduct your interest payments when you buy a car.
The polls indicate Mr. Trump and Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris are in a dead heat for the White House, with Election Day just over 2 weeks away. The presidential campaign in North Carolina is playing out in the aftermath of a devastating hurricane and a tumultuous governor's race. Both sides are ramping up their activity in North Carolina following Hurricane Helene. An Israeli attack in Lebanon has killed several Lebanese National Army soldiers.
The Israeli military has apologized for a strike in southern Lebanon that killed 3 Lebanese soldiers, adding it struck a truck on Sunday that had entered an area where it had previously targeted a Hezbollah truck transporting a launcher and missiles. Israel's allies, war-weary residents of Gaza, and others have expressed hope that Sinwar's death would pave the way for an end to the war. But both Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Hamas have vowed to keep fighting until they achieve their goals. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Asian shares are mixed after U.S. stocks rose to records to close out their latest winning week. U.S. futures and oil prices also climbed. Hong Kong fell, but other major Asian markets advanced. On Wall Street, Dow futures are down 92 points. NASDAQ futures are off 109. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Anyone with everyday aches and pains, I've got a question. What are you missing out on? Probably a lot. So let me tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In about 3 weeks, you'll discover what it's like to feel better. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4 Relief.
The Pope is dead.
From Focus Features comes the electrifying new film, Conclave.
We're about to choose the most famous man in the world.
Based on the international best-selling thriller.
The Pope discovered something before he died.
Ralph Fiennes, Stanley Tucci.
Ambition becomes corruption.
John Lithgow and Isabella Rossellini.
We sisters have eyes and ears.
Top critics are raving. Conclave is hands down the best picture of the year.
I have to find the truth.
Conclave, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Only in theaters.
From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I call this layers weather, as in jackets in the morning and shorts in the afternoon. In fact, the next couple of afternoons, pretty warm for mid-October. I've got us at 80 today with mostly sunny skies and a south wind at 5 to 10. Back down into the low 50s tonight and early Tuesday, and then even warmer tomorrow, 82 Tuesday afternoon. And believe it or not, a chance of rain tomorrow. Now, it looks pretty spotty, looks fairly light. Let's be ready for a couple of passing showers. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chin.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Looking for a cruise vacation? Cruise.com is offering its exclusive sale of the year to all listeners to this station. Every major cruise line, including Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Princess, MSC, and more, are on sale now. Call 1-800-507-9264 and book one of these deals while supplies last. Cruises start from as low as $39 per person per day. There isn't a better vacation value to places like Alaska, Europe, the Caribbean, South America, and more. Call one of the largest cruise specialists in the world at 1-800-507-9264. We'll find you a vacation that includes drinks, Wi-Fi, excursions, and more. Call 1-800-507-9264. That's 1-800-507-9264. Space is limited. Don't miss your opportunity to book the best deal of the year. That's 1-800-507-9264. Sponsored by Cruise.com.
If you find yourself feeling out of place in the world, it's comforting to know conservative values haven't been abandoned everywhere.
The far left wants to destroy conservative values in America.
This is News Talk STL. Welcome home. Mike Ferguson.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Gabe Pfeiffer.
We have a hope.
Get up, in case you hear the alarm. Get up.
What do you call a genius in President Biden's Homeland Security Department? A visitor.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up, in case you hear the alarm. Get up.
Good morning to the people of St. Louis.
Cleanup is going to be happening for weeks, months, maybe years throughout the southeast part of the U.S. after Helene and Milton just devastated so many areas, particularly the Carolinas. And then you immediately saw that debate over the performance of FEMA and other governmental agencies in response to the hurricane. Is there a role, not just for a private sector, because we know about the nonprofits, but for the free market to address the damage that was done in a disaster like the hurricanes? This is a conversation you're not going to hear everywhere. I'm Mike Ferguson. I am now joined by David Williams from the Taxpayers Protection Alliance. And David, great to talk to you again. And when I saw some of the work that TPA is putting out, what you've said regarding not just the private sector, because there's plenty of people who say, oh, yeah, the Red Cross is great. Convoy of Hope is great. Samaritan's Purse is great. That's not the complete story, as I understand it. You're talking about, hey, how about free markets to get these communities back up on their feet? And a lot of times people, including conservatives, will just say, no, wait a minute. When there's a disaster, we'll get to the markets later. Right now, we need government to fix it. Why should we challenge that thinking?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I'm glad we're talking about this issue because there's a lot of vilification of corporate America. And I'm not saying that it's not just, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that you can say about corporate America, but looking at disaster relief, what we're seeing is this is really fascinating because, FEMA has issues and sometimes nonprofits have issues, but what's happening, and if you take like Apple, for example, with the iPhone, people don't think of that as really as a tool for disaster management or any sort of, disaster relief. But right now, if you have an iPhone and let's say the cell towers go down, and they did in Florida, they did in North Carolina. Well, you can call people with satellite. It defaults to a satellite setting. So you can send a text message to loved ones through text messaging on satellite features. Now, this was not something that was available to people 10 years ago. This is relatively new. And, Apple didn't have this in mind when they set this feature. They just want their product to be better and to have more features. And it just so happens that it's really helping people contact and stay in touch with loved ones. And then there's the logistical problem of getting supplies to the area. And boy, the post office. So we have someone who works in Florida, and I had to send them something through the mail. They haven't received it yet. I sent it 2 weeks ago. Don't know if it was the hurricanes or just the Postal Service at this point, right? But you have a company like Amazon who logistical geniuses, right? I mean, they can get you anything practically overnight if you want it. But that's not the whole story here, is that Amazon actually delivered, I think it was like 15,000 bottles of baby formula to North Carolina. And they did this very quickly because they have the networks built. They know how to do this. This is what they do for a living, is that they deliver stuff. And what they did was they shifted over to disaster relief and said, okay, mothers need baby formula. Let's get on it and let's do it. And they did it for free. I mean, that's the thing, is that they did this for free. Now you have a lot of people in Congress led by Senator Elizabeth Warren. They're trying to break up these companies. They're trying to break up Apple, Amazon, and a whole bunch of other companies. The problem is when you're an Amazon or an Apple or another company, you get these economies of scale, right? Is that you're able to build these networks as a company. You're able to deliver these products or make these products. And I'm concerned that Congress isn't seeing the bigger picture here of why big isn't necessarily bad. And I'm not saying that we should just always look the other way when corporations and companies do things, but let's keep everything in perspective here as to what they are doing and the good they are doing for people.
We are visiting with David Williams from the Taxpayers Protection Alliance. One of the arguments I've heard as well, they're motivated by profit, which of course in leftist speak would mean greed. So therefore they're not going to have something to offer the people who are in need. Government works out of an altruistic mindset, whereas private business only operates out of a profit mindset, even though in this case they just put their logistics and their networks to work right here. What about the motivations? I mean, what about the incentives that are involved in a private sector space?
Listen, I want a company making money because that means that they're going to have the resources to put back into that company to make more money and to help people. Listen, whether it's shampoo that you want delivered the next day or baby formula, I'm glad Amazon isn't making any profit because that's what they're supposed to be doing. The government is slow, remember back, Hurricane Katrina, they shipped ice, I believe it was from New York down to Louisiana. Well, the ice melted by the time it got down to Louisiana. I mean, this is, when people embrace big government and say government should be doing this, well, this is what government did for them, is they delivered essentially water, because when ice melts, it's just water, and it really was useless at that point. So yes, profit is a great motivator, and it's building these companies. And let's not forget, it's employing millions of people. These companies are employing millions of people, and then they're not missing paychecks. whether they're in Florida, North Carolina, or elsewhere. They're not missing paychecks. So this is good. Profits are good.
Last couple minutes we've got here, but what would be the proper role of government? I mean, I think a lot of people would say, well, a large scale disaster emergency, sure, there's a role of government to do something that we can't do ourselves. What's that right place that should be making room for that private sector and business element?
Look at Ron DeSantis in Florida. He has it figured out how to use government taxpayer resources to respond to hurricanes. I mean, hurricanes hit Florida a lot, and he's figured this out on how to do that. And we're not saying you don't spend taxpayer money, but you have to have checks and balances. And going back to Katrina, I remember this, is that Senator Tom Coburn, there's going to be, I think, about $100 billion in aid to for Katrina. And he said, how about we spend $6 million for the Inspector General, just so we can look at all the waste, fraud, and abuse. Congress said no, that was too much money to spend for the Inspector General. I would do the same thing in Florida and North Carolina. Set aside however much money is going to be spent, set aside some of that for the Inspector General and leave it to the states. The federal government, listen, they mean the right thing, right? They're trying to do the right thing. It's the states that know what they need and how to respond. And again, Governor DeSantis has been a leader in this for a number of years.
Yeah, I mean, they were at like 98% power reconnected after 2 hurricanes within something like 6 days or something like that. It's almost kind of mind-boggling, that infrastructure reconnection. Okay, so David, I know you all are, watching this and researching it on your all's website, social media. People want to get in touch, maybe follow what you're doing. What's the best way to do it? Where are they going to find you?
We're at protectingtaxpayers.org. And just remember, there are forces in Congress that are trying to break up these companies and really just make them powerless to be able to respond to these disasters in the future.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we want all hands on deck when there's something this big?
Yeah.
All right, David, thank you so much. Appreciate you being on the program, especially providing a perspective. I think a lot of people will either say, I never thought of it that way, or how dare you, but then think about it at least and see what other aspects we can think. I mean, the more hands involved, the better. And we know there have been cases where the government tried to run off the private sector, basically saying, stay out of our lane. And that's been disastrous in many cases.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this.
And then real quick, David, I know that you all been involved in a case that's going before the U.S. Supreme Court regarding the Food and Drug Administration as well. And just a little bit of a different topic here. You're saying the FDA is overreaching under the Biden administration. What's the case all about?
Yeah, this is kind of a crazy story, is that people, a lot of people are smoking, and we want them to switch to less harmful products, e-cigarettes, vaping, nicotine pouches. There's a whole sort of, things that people can use to stop smoking. So you have this company, Triton Distribution, who said, okay, we want to bring these to market. We want to give consumers the option to use these products. The FDA said, no, you can't do this because we passed a law 15, 20 years ago saying that FDA has all the power in this, is to approve these sorts of devices. Well, this is the first company that said, well, FDA, we don't think that you're using this power correctly, so we are going to sue you. And so they sued the Food and Drug Administration. And I love it when a private company sues the government for something, especially something like this. And the Fifth Circuit said, you have a point. The FDA is dragging its feet on this. So now the FDA is going to take it to the Supreme Court. So there's going to be a hearing and a ruling based upon whether or not just this product, but this is going to open up products to everybody and more consumers. And it's a little personal for me because my dad smoked 3.5 packs of cigarettes a day for 20 plus years. Obviously, he's no longer with us. Smoking killed him. I wish these products were available in the 1970s, where he could have quit smoking, he could have vaped or whatever he wanted to do, whatever flavor he wanted to vape or use, but he didn't have that option. People have that option now. The Food and Drug Administration is standing in the way. And if they would have just accepted the Fifth Circuit's ruling, we would have more products getting ready to come to market and help people quit smoking. So that's why this is so important to me and to the organization.
Okay, so it sounds like it's even not just about smoking or vaping or something like that. It's really about government being in the way of innovations and consumer choice.
100% is that the FDA, and I don't know if people realize this, how much control the FDA has over our lives. You talk about medicine, it takes 12 to 14 years and about $2 billion to bring a drug to market. They're stopping these life-saving technologies for people to stop smoking. So the FDA really has stood in the middle. And there was a fight over orange juice. The FDA and the U.S. Department of Agriculture fought about how much pulp could be in orange juice. I mean, this is what the big things that they're fighting about behind closed doors is the pulp in our orange juice. I mean, it tells you that it's broken. The FDA is absolutely broken.
Yeah, and the obvious answer is the more pulp, the better. I'm just saying that shouldn't. All right, got some thoughts on this. 314-912-1019. Don't forget, 6:35. Our friends with Parents Defending Education going to be with us on an update against the Kirkwood School District. The accusation, they're discriminating against the white kids. We'll tell you what that's all about in just about 20 minutes right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Don't try to make me stop. Inspiration, you have a soul so dark, it is no more.
We give you news, analysis, opinion, and more. Only on News Talk STL.
To fight your war. Stop it right now.
Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
I see your indifference. Stop it right now before you blow us all away. You wanna do that? Get up, can't you hear the alarm? Get up, this is your cousin.
Ready to soar beyond your limits? The U.S. Air Force and Space Force offer more than just a job. It's a launch pad for your future. With over 200 career paths, competitive pay, benefits, free education, 30 days paid vacation, and a chance to travel the globe, all while serving your country with pride. Your journey starts here. Call Jeremy Jefferson in St. Louis at 314-295-6834 or visit airforce.com and spaceforce.com today.
Are you tired of hard chlorinated water drying your skin out, tasting bad, and ruining your fixtures? Jones Air and Water Treatment has a solution to this pollution. Our Hydratech H2O leaves you with great tasting, soft water at all fixtures in your home with one unit. Call Jones Air and Water at 636-899-1040 or visit us on the web at joneswater.com. You can be a filter or buy a filter. Jones Air and Water, 636-899-1040 or joneswater.com on the web. Call us now.
Are you sitting on hidden treasure? Manchester Coin and Jewelry wants to turn your valuables into cash. We are Missouri's premier gold buyers and jewelry specialists with years of expertise. We offer top dollar for your coins, antiques, precious metals, and collectibles. From gold and silver to clocks and jewelry, we buy it all. Don't let your treasures collect dust. Let Manchester Coin and Jewelry give you the best value. Visit online at buyingvaluables.net or come see him today at 141 in Manchester and tell him News Talk STL sent you.
Republican Adam Schnelting is a husband, father, and soldier. As an Army combat engineer, Schnelting trained to fight for us, trained to solve problems, and that's just what he's been doing. As state representative, Adam fought to keep men out of our daughters' sports and bathrooms. He voted to cut our taxes and fully fund our schools. And his tough on crime stance has earned him the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police. November 5th, vote Adam Schnelting for state senate, and he'll get the job done for St. Charles County.
Paid for by Schnelting from Missouri, Mike Summer, Treasurer.
Dreaming of upgrading your outdoor space? STL Fenceworks is the choice for you. Our skilled craftsmen build custom fences from modern vinyl to classic ornamental, fitting your style and budget. Elevate your outdoor living with low-maintenance decks designed to relax and entertain. We choose only top-quality American-made materials, ensuring your project is built to last. Your satisfaction is our passion. With over 50 years of experience, custom designs, and exceptional customer service, visit stlfenceworks.com today.
I'm Susie Moore, and this is More to the Point.
Let's be honest about this. Not one of us had Donald J. Trump serves up hot and salty fries at Mickey D's on our bingo cards heading into this election season. But the former and hopeful future president has made other unconventional campaign stops this time around that seem to have worked well for him. Think Chick-fil-A in Atlanta, bringing pizzas to New York City firefighters, a barbershop in the Bronx, a rally in Coachella, California. And he's long been known to be a fan of the Golden Arches. So when Vice President Kamala Harris, in an apparent bid to pad a resume heavy on the government payroll and political appointment side and light on the middle-class street cred, claimed she had worked fries while in college, and when various attempts to dig up any corroboration of that claim produced nothing, Trump sensed an opportunity. Sunday, he made good on it and spent time at a Pennsylvania McDonald's learning how to cook and serve fries and bag them up to hand to drive-thru customers. The only people who seem not to be entertained by Trump's adventures in spud making are the sourpusses on the left who've forgotten how to have a sense of humor and are incensed at the notion of a candidate staging a campaign photo op. I say kudos to Donald McRonald on this one. Seems he found a way to turn those golden arches into a W.
Susie Moore is Deputy Managing Editor for RedState.com. For more to the point and everything Susie Moore, log on to RedState.com. Follow Susie on Twitter at SmoozyQ and keep listening to 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at Stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Hi, Stan Bongino here, and I'm proud to be on News Talk STL every weekday from 11 to 2. Right now, you're listening to Mike Ferguson in the Morning.
All right, throughout the next, hour and a half or whatever, we're going to be talking about how highbrow our politics and our campaign discussions are.
Highbrow. So we're going to talk French fries?
Highbrow, yes, French fries. And French fries.
Not hash browns.
No.
Highbrow.
Oh, good Lord. By the way, we are bringing you election night coverage, and this is going to be a doozy, not just from both sides of the state line. Obviously, the national election, a lot of local races to be handled as well. More details on that. We've got a lineup of sponsors who are making this happen. And, the thing is that people really, really like the fact that there is basically around-the-clock local coverage. We are going to be doing our show on Election Day back in O'Fallon, Missouri. We had such a good time at PJ's Coffee that I think we're going to do it again.
Yeah, let's go back.
It's going to be great. I don't think I was supposed to make the official announcement yet, so I'll officially announce it later when I get the green light, but that's what's going to happen to do that. All right. So newstalkstl.com for more information on election day, election night here. By the way, speaking of that,
yes.
Okay, tell me your mindset at this point here.
Okay.
We're political animals. We're news junkies.
Mm-hmm.
This is the lead up to our Super Bowl. It's election season. It happens once every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Are you really excited? Love this time of year. Love this. Or are you just get this thing over with?
Oh, I'm definitely ready to be done with election season. I think part of it is that it feels like election season never ends anymore. We used to have a break. And then we kind of get back into it. But it feels as though it's been so constant.
Yeah, it has. Stel, what about you? Are you like, yes, I'm so excited about what's about to happen, or please get this thing over with?
No, I'm pretty excited about it.
Okay.
And also very hesitant about it because to me, it's our constitutional republic on the brink. That's my viewpoint. And I want to see what's going to happen. So I'm excited for it. In a weird kind of way.
I just want to get it over with. and the funny part is, Gabe, you articulated that. I'm like, and maybe that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just it wears you down after a while. And obviously with the presidential race, how divisive it is on both sides and everything. And listen, when you look at some of the ways that people end up on the fringe left, this isn't a matter of, well, they just want the same thing we do. They have a different, no. They want a very different outcome in a very different society, in a very different culture, in a very different country than everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not one of those who buys into, we all want the same thing. We just have different ways. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
That's not true.
No.
It's just,
And that's what we were told when Biden took, when Biden came on the
Yeah.
scene. For 2020 was always going to position himself in the middle. Oh, he's He'll moderate. He'll be a moderate kind of guy. And we found out, whoops, that's not the case
he
at all.
governed to the left of Barack Obama.
Yeah, really.
I mean,
so,
honestly, that's not me trying to be snarky. He really did. So, but when the election itself comes, we know what's going to happen in Missouri. We know what's going to happen in Illinois. Early voting starts tomorrow. I may head right after work and go in and get my vote in and just be done with it.
Yeah, me too.
Just to be done.
Actually, there are already some early returns from other states going on right now. I saw a report about North Carolina and how basically the race has started and people are talking about this party has taken the lead in early voting in this state. So it's already going.
Right. And the thing is that none of them are supposed to be saying whether those are Republican or Democratic votes that have come in, because in states where you register as a party, which technically you do now in Missouri, but I don't know that a lot of people have, they're saying, well, we've received X number of Republican ballots versus X number of Democratic ballots.
Right.
They're not even supposed to really do that. You're not supposed to release anything until election day. But yeah, everybody has just absolutely lost their minds over the election. And I don't have the same apocalyptic fears that a lot of other people have. We have survived bad presidents before. We have survived bad election cycles before. I mean, it's and I don't have a huge amount of confidence this time around, regardless of who wins. I'm more worried about who controls Congress, to be real honest. And I know that's not the popular thing to say in political talk radio, but I'm more concerned with who ends up controlling Congress.
I'm less how do I put this? I'm definitely aware that there's the possibility of a Marxist hellscape erupting in the country almost at any moment. But I'm choosing not to be particularly apocalyptic about it.
No.
I guess I'm trying to split the baby essentially, because I'm definitely aware that we are at a crossroads, and every election is a crossroads. I think this one is particular just because the division between the two candidates is so vast.
Yeah.
The division between the two parties is so vast that it's difficult to see how we can get through it, unscathed. We're going to be scathed. I'll say it that way, one way or another.
Yeah, we're going to be scathed. I mean, just like we've been scathed by other bad presidents, both Republicans and Democrats. I guess I just kind of look back and I'm like, this is a moment in time.
I guess.
I guess I just kind of try to look at the much bigger historic and what's my faith in kind of thing. And it's not in any of these politicians.
Well, no, clearly not.
God's going to take care of us as believers, those of us who trust Jesus Christ. I mean, we know that he's going to take care of us. The issue that I have, and I agree with you, Gabe, is we have an administration that's let in who knows how many millions of undocumented people from other countries. We've never had that happen before, amongst all the other issues that are going on.
Yeah,
that the left's been throwing at us. We've got 20, who knows how many million undocumented people running around the country, and they have no idea where some of them are. And we have 300,000 kids who have been lost, and they act as though, well, that's the way we're going to govern. I don't want another 4 years of that.
I think it's a lot more than 20 million.
Yeah, I mean that's my particular contention here. Is like, even though we had let's say all of the illegal aliens who were they got amnesty under Reagan, right? And we saw it didn't particularly hurt us as a nation. We were able to assimilate them on some level.
It was still a mistake by Reagan.
It was definitely a mistake by Reagan. We were still able, but I think the numbers were relatively low enough that we were able to assimilate, and now we took some hits though. I mean, I don't think we had the foreign language gangs problem prior to that we do now.
There were no apartment complexes being taken over by Venezuelan gangs.
Exactly.
Right.
So at this point though, I'm worried that 20 million, that's like 6% of our current population.
Yeah, we're about 330 million people.
Yeah.
Like population wise in the country.
Right. So you throw 20 million on top of that. Right. And like you said, it's probably, north of that.
Right.
That's like adding 6% of your population of foreign born, not, they're not the same, culture that you are, and they have no desire to assimilate. From what we've seen, they just turn into pockets of their other countries. So that's my particular worry these days.
Yeah. All right. 314-912-1019. By the way, we just at 5:35, we had that conversation we just replayed with State Senator Nick Schroer, who was pointing out some of the nonsensical DEI stuff and discriminatory things that were happening in the Parkway district. In his view, turns out that's not the only district that's being accused of that. Right around 634 here, we've got our friends from Parents Defending Education going to be with us. They filed a civil rights complaint against a school district in St. Louis County. We'll tell you what that's all about just ahead here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Still I can't escape the goes W.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and newstalkstl.com.
Where is the light that I recognize?
Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
But I won't cry for yesterday. There's an ordinary world. Somehow I have to find.
Number one for live and local conservative talk.
They cover the important stories.
They're not going to stop Trump.
Close the border now.
It just makes sense. 1019 and 94.1.
St. Louis is number one for conservative talk.
News Talk STL. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I call this layers weather, as in jackets in the morning and shorts in the afternoon. In fact, the next couple of afternoons, pretty warm for mid-October. I've got us at 80 today with mostly sunny skies and a south wind at 5 to 10. Back down into the low 50s tonight and early Tuesday, and then even warmer tomorrow, 82 Tuesday afternoon. And believe it or not, a chance of rain tomorrow. Now, it looks pretty spotty, looks fairly light. Let's be ready for a couple of passing showers. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Missouri's Amendment 3 is cleverly worded to convince you that it only allows abortions until fetal viability. But it has loopholes that allow for abortions through all 9 months of pregnancy. Abortion proponents used to say safe, legal, and rare. But now they want abortion as common as the morning after pill. Plus, minor-aged children will have access to sex change surgeries without parental consent. Vote no on Amendment 3.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John B. Royal Treasurer.
Hi, Chris Arps here. Join me and the team at Royal Banks of Missouri for their annual Economic Forecast Breakfast. The event takes place on Tuesday, November 19th at the factory in the district in the Chesterfield Valley. You'll hear from their experts and get a better understanding of what to expect from the U.S. economy in 2025 and beyond. Doors open at 7:30 a.m. and the program starts at 8 a.m. Attendance is free, but you do need to reserve a spot. You can RSVP by sending an email to emails@royalbanksnet.com or by calling 314-212-1545.
Barbecue enthusiast, are you tired of getting smoked by the big box stores? Fire up your grilling game at Smoke Ring Barbecue Supply on Juggerman Road. Family owned and operated, Smoke Ring is your one-stop shop for anything and everything barbecue. From Blues Hog, Heath Riles, Meat Church, Rectex, Smokin' Brothers, and Drum Smokers, you name it, they got it. Premium pellets and Missouri Love Charco to mouth-watering sauces and rubs. Stop in today or visit SmokeGreenBBQSupply.com and tell them News Talk STL sent you. Smoke Green Barbecue Supply, where local flavor meets grilling passion.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
The Allman Report.
Monday on the Allman Report, all the craziness from around the weekend. That's right, people. Monday, the Allman Report on News Talk STL.
Jamie Allman. Weeknights at 8 on News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion.
You know, they're literally taking the Constitution and putting it in a paper shredder.
News Talk STL. Love the music you hear on the morning show? Check out Mike's morning music playlist at newstalkstl.com.
The sun was shining, sky was crying.
I think we're going to have to do a segment at some point. What weird shows are you watching?
Yeah, we just had a whole conversation
Game and I
about
just
them.
compared notes on the weird shows that we're watching when we're at the house. All right, another St. Louis County School District accused of race-based discrimination And guess who they are accused of discriminating against? Anybody want to guess? You get 3 guesses. First 2 don't count. Okay.
White people.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Thanks for the spoiler.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean.
6:36 right now. Hey, don't forget News Talk's app. It is free, and you can take us anywhere you want. And it's kind of funny because I actually have people commenting to me about the app now. We had that at Nadine's. I had a couple people said, "Yeah, I finally got your app. This thing's awesome."
Right?
We still do have 101.9 and 94.1, but there are so many people now that just bring up the app on the phone,
absolutely,
or ride on their car and do it. So check that out.
Welcome to the party, pal.
That's right. Doesn't matter whether it's iPhone or Android. The app is there. It is free. It takes up very, very little memory, and this thing is smooth as silk as well. All right, joined now by Michele Exner from Parents Defending Education. And Michele, been a while since we had somebody from Parents Defending Education on the program. Appreciate you being on here. We just before you were on, played a conversation with one of our local state legislators regarding a similar complaint to what you and I are about to talk about, and Gabe and Stella and I are about to talk about with you, regarding a school district setting aside certain things as long as you are in the person of color category and nobody else is allowed. And that was in the Parkway School District. We're talking about the Kirkwood School District here. You have filed a federal civil rights complaint. I mean, Parents Defending Education has, with the U.S. Department of Education against the Kirkwood School District. What is it that they are doing that violates people's rights right now?
Absolutely. So we have found that they are creating so-called affinity groups for students and staff, again, based on color, based on, race, and that violate both Title VI of the Civil Rights Act and the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. So much they went as far as district-operated web pages. They boast about this, right? They're bragging about this. They're not trying to hide this fact. They're offering recruitment efforts and special privileges to so-called Black, Indigenous, and people of color. I mean, these are taxpayer-funded institutions, right? Taxpayers of all races, of all backgrounds, that are funding these public schools. And it is appalling that you have school districts that think that they can allocate these resources based on race, right? That is segregation. We thought, it was bad, and we shouldn't be going back. And so it's really alarming when we see school districts do things like this.
Good morning, Michele. Gabe Pfeiffer here. So, the complaint isn't about the existence necessarily of affinity groups, because back in the day, we had various, just the Black student unions and things like that. But the issue, I guess, now seems to be the funding. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's that these tutoring services. So one example, tutoring services are offered exclusively to students in these groups, as well as annual scholarships provided to the Kirkwood teachers of color. So this particular example pertains to the staff and teachers. And so there are scholarships that are only provided to individuals identifying as Black, Indigenous, or student of color. So again, other students, students that are not in these categories, they are excluded. And that's just to your point, that is exactly what makes this wrong.
Michele, then recently the U.S. Supreme Court ruled, now this was granted at the higher education level with the University of North Carolina case, but that should have sent the message across the country, hey, race-based discrimination is not accepted in education anymore. Is this something that is likely headed for a similar kind of showdown, or has the establishment just simply said, we don't care what the legal precedents are, we're going to fight this tooth and nail? Because essentially what you got, extra tutoring services for kids who are in need. I don't think anybody is going to complain about that. But when you say these services are for these kids and little cracker kids, you don't get to go. That's essentially where we're drawing the line here in what I'm hearing you say is what's happening here is that, if you're, and BIPOC is the term that you were talking about, Black, Indigenous, people of color. So basically anybody who's not white, they get to have this. White kids, you don't get to do this. And a lot of times the Asian kids get lumped in with the white kids as well, and they don't have access to it.
Yeah, in these school districts, all they should be looking is at the bottom line. What scores? Where are these kids standing academically, regardless of what their race is, right? No one would have an issue with this. That's exactly your point that you just mentioned. No one would have an issue if we're allocating these services to students who are in academic need of having these services, right? Everyone would see the point of that. Yes, we need to help these students continue to excel and reach their potential, but that's not what these schools are doing, right? These schools think that they can get away with, their identity politics. That's what they're pushing in these schools. That's it. So what we're going to do, Parents Defending Education will continue to find examples like this, because I think that regardless of the Supreme Court case, I think we're going to see schools that are going to try to skirt those rules and do whatever they think is politically aligned with what they want to do.
Good morning, Michelle. Stalpontique is here. So is your organization seeing this type of issue pop up, not just here locally in the St. Louis area, but in other parts of Missouri?
Can't tell you about Missouri, but certainly other parts of the country. And so when we see these pop up, right, we put up what they're called OCR complaints to the Department of Education. And sometimes change happen at a certain level. There was a recent case, and I have to go back and see exactly where it was, but there was a recent case where they opened that group up to the entire student body, and not just on race. And that is success, right? When now these race-based admissions or resources are removed, and then whatever the taxpayer-funded or public school-funded organization or resources are, now they're open to the entire student body. And that's where we're aiming to strive for.
That voice you're hearing is Michele Exner from Parents Defending Education. So where is the case right now? The complaint has been filed. What's next, and is there a timetable for it, or is this a matter of the courts reviewing it all and doing the preliminary stuff?
Yep. So no specific timeline. It depends. So we've filed this with it's called the Office of Rights in the Department of Education. And again, this is under the current Biden-Harris Secretary Cardona Department of Education. So again, that's something to keep in mind. But again, for us, exposing what's happening is a huge piece of this, right? It's a huge piece of making sure that we get rid of these race-based, whether it's admissions, race-based groups, race-based resources, advancement for teachers or hiring practices for teachers. And so exposing this and making sure that parents in the district and the media like you all, right, are talking about this and increasing awareness so parents on the ground can continue to push for change. That is something that cannot be understated. And so we'll continue to expose these as we see them happening across the country, put up the complaints, and then hopefully we get the right outcome.
And
but no specific timeline at the moment.
Okay, so we're going to give out the website and information. It's real easy to find your complaint right there on this. And let's go ahead and answer, the devil's advocate question. There's somebody's going to say, but Michelle, some of these minority communities, they have disparate outcomes in some of their academic performances. They just need to be targeted with more help that other people, may not need. So what's the problem with saying Black students or Hispanic students or, Pacific Islander student, whatever the group is, their grades tend to be here. The other kids have higher grades, so we should target something at them specifically.
Look, I'm a minority myself, and I don't think that I deserve to have any special privileges or access to anything that other non-Hispanic students have access to. So the bottom line is that teachers should be teaching students regardless of what their race or background is. And if school districts went ahead and used a metric of where students stand academically, if students are struggling academically, race shouldn't matter. It should say we need to help those students, right? Regardless if they're Black, white, Asian, whatever the race is. The goal is to help those students, right, meet the benchmarks they need to be academically proficient in those, in their grade level in math and reading, science, history, right, all the subjects. And so if schools focus on that, then we'll get to a good spot where it's not just based on this divisive race ideology that some folks are pushing.
All right, and you can find the complaint and your all's blog post about this and get in touch. How?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are sendinged.org. So please, encourage all of your listeners to go on there and read about all the great work that we're doing to ensure that classrooms and school districts are teaching what they should be teaching. And so, on October 4th, for this particular complaint, that is when we filed it under Kirkwood School District. And there are two separate ones, one for the teacher affinity groups and then another one for the student one. So if your listeners want to read more about this case, then encourage them to go to our website.
All right. Once again, that is defendinged.org. All right, Michele, thanks so much for the update. And I'll probably bug you for an update as things start working through the courts as well.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for having me on.
All right. Just ahead here, let's get you caught up on what's happening in the news, including one state saying maybe people who aren't citizens shouldn't be voting in this election.
Huh.
And the Biden administration says, hey.
Oh, no.
Not so fast there, buddy.
Oh, geez.
All right. I'll give you that update right around 6:49 here on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. That is my official newsman coverage. Hey.
I was freezing, but I was feeling no kind of pain. Come the fireball.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter.
I had a vision.
Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
I am a sensation. Days like these, I feel like I can change the world. Days like these, I feel like I can change the world.
Looking for top quality tactical gear and expert advice? Look no further than Discount Tactical, your one-stop shop for all things firearms and self-defense. Located in the heart of Warrenton, we've been serving the community for 3 years with our friendly, professional, and knowledgeable staff. From custom AR builds and silencers to the largest selection of parts, we've got you covered. Self-defense weapons, SBRs, knives, ammo, custom holsters, weapon lights, optics, and body armor. Discount Tactical. Online at discounttacticalarmory.com or stop by today and gear up with confidence.
Hey, want to amaze your friends when they visit? They will be impressed when they see your custom-made drapes, blinds, or shutters. Michael Proctor will personally help you pick out the correct colors to truly showcase your home. Then he will actually design and personally install everything. No overhead markup. That's going to save you a lot of money on drapes, blinds, or shutters.
Call for an appointment at your home. Spell Proctor like doctor.
History, wine, spirits, food, and music, plus an awesome name. That's the Old House in Hog Hollow. This beautiful historic home's been turned into a wine bar and event venue that can host any and all of your gatherings. Take a tour while enjoying a glass of wine and see all the original features that are still around from the 1850s. Open Thursday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and brunch, with live music on select dates paired with wine tasting. Find them at 14319 Olive Boulevard in Chesterfield or online at oldhouseinhoghollow.com.
As the daughter of an OBGYN, I learned from a young age that no topic is too taboo for discussion at the dinner table. This family-centered, transparent approach to health and wellness that my dad, you may know him as Dr. Randy Tobler, created for my siblings and I, is what we strive to deliver to our patients at Body of Health Direct Primary Care. I'm Sammy Tobler-Gregory with Body of Health, where relationships matter. Come learn about healthcare the way it ought to be and schedule your free discovery call today at bodyofhealth.com. That's bodyofhealth.com.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Hey there, Tim Jones here. Make sure you join me and my buddy Chris Arps this afternoon from 4 until 6 p.m. right here on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Right now, let's get back to more of Mike Ferguson in the Morning.
I think there's going to be a lot of red caps going through McDonald's drive-thrus today. All right.
They should make it a regular thing.
All right. Here's what's ahead in the next hour and 15 minutes. Kamala finds religion and Donald finds cheeseburgers. It happened.
And fries.
And fries. That's right. I will say this. I wish I could take credit for this one, but if he had found a way to fix the ice cream machine, election over.
Yep.
over. Landslide,
Oh,
50
Not,
states.
even, not the ice cream machine.
If he found a way to fix that, we wouldn't even bother. It's one thing that he got the endorsement of The Undertaker over
Right.
the weekend. Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
see that?
Oh, I did see that.
The
Yeah.
Undertaker. I'm like, well,
Flex is over.
who's gonna mess with The Undertaker?
It's over,
man.
man.
Come on. Also, the next ramp up of the election locally starts this week, actually. And the local university is cutting jobs in order to cut the budget. Are they not in as prestigious a position as they may want us to believe in their woke selves? We'll get to that here. Let's dump some news on you.
Wake up, America. It all worked out.
You know, I mean, they got all the news.
The morning news dump.
By the way, it is 6:51. All right, as Vice President Kamala Harris continues to campaign for support among Black voters, that should be
trying.
That should be a panic moment for the Democrats if you're 2 weeks out and you're trying to win over Black voters.
Yes.
Congressman Byron Donalds was on Life, Liberty, and Levin on Fox over the weekend, reacting to that economic plan that she announced last week for Black men. You remember that one, right? Here's what Byron Donalds had to say about it.
When she came up with that plan, basically it was free loans, which is just giving money away, and weed. And there's a lot of Black men out here who are like, really? That's what you think of us? That is why the Democrats have been losing support amongst Black men in particular, but men overall, specifically Kamala Harris.
You know what? This is the third time I've played that soundbite this morning, and I just caught the thing about weed.
Yeah.
I was all focused on the forgivable
loans?
loans, which is handing out. And then he goes, and weed. It just sunk in that he said that as well.
Well, he's not wrong. I mean, because it's very pandering, and when you get down to the nitty gritty of what her attempts to woo us has been, it's just like, nah, you're not hitting it.
I mean, do you think the condescension is really okay to speak about more now than before?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. For some reason, and I'm glad for it. I think a lot of Black folks woke up to the realization that wait, this is all they ever talk about with us.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm pretty sure we're better than that, and we keep giving them our vote for this. And I'm not sure I want to do that this time.
It's one thing for me to say it as the pasty white conservative talk show host. It's another thing when within the Black community, people are saying, you know what, we're tired of you saying you want our votes because you've got to rescue us from jail and drugs and poverty. Majority of Black families in this country are middle class.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's where we are right now, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of people woke up to it. It's like, wait a second, she keeps speaking to the people in the hood, but I'm not in the hood.
Yeah, and weed.
And weed.
All right, Department of Justice is suing the Commonwealth of Virginia, accusing it of violating federal law. Well, what did they do wrong, you may ask? Well, I'm so glad you did. Here's what they did wrong, according to the federal government. They are eliminating non-citizens from voter rolls right before the election.
Oh no's?
Yeah. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin was asked about that on Fox News Sunday yesterday.
When someone walks into one of our DMVs and self-identifies as a non-citizen, and then they end up on the voter rolls, either purposely or by accident, that we go through a process, individualized, not systematic, an individualized process based on that person's self-identification as a non-citizen to give them 14 days to affirm they are a citizen.
And by the way, that law that they're using was signed into place in 2006. Governor Tim Kaine was in office at that point. He's a Democrat.
Yeah.
Went on to be a vice presidential nominee who signed that bill into law.
It's such a weird flex. It's like, hey, you can't be doing that. It's like, I mean, imagine you're washing the dishes and your wife comes and yells at you. That's right. It's like, what are you doing?
Well, and the thing is, they're saying is their complaint is that you're doing that too soon before the election.
Right.
You should have done that a long time ago.
Well, why?
That's the argument.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's another reason, which, by the way, the federal government shouldn't be involved in, at least not very much in running statewide elections. We have 50 state elections, local elections here. By the way, on the Missouri side, no excuse early voting opens up tomorrow. As always, contact your election board or your county clerk for times and locations. I know that a lot of people don't like early voting. I get it. I'm going to use it. I mean, literally at some point between tomorrow and election day, On the way back, I'm going to run by the location and I'm just going to cast my vote and be done with it. I know who and what I'm voting for and not voting for.
I've been an election day purist for a while, where it's like, no, you got to go out on the day, and then so I can, look at the line and yell at everybody for not having been there in the past few local elections. But at this point, I'm just like, just get it done.
Yeah, you go through the gauntlet of people handing you flyers.
Oh
and
gosh,
all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. SLU is laying off 23 staff members, but that's not the biggest part of the story. They are also choosing to not fill over 130 other positions that are currently vacant. So they are essentially eliminating over 150 positions as part of a plan to cut their spending by $20 million in the current fiscal year.
So they're having a few problems.
Yeah, or they're trying to avoid problems or
Yeah.
something down the road that they don't like that they are seeing. I just thought that was interesting.
Any indication of where within the system they are?
6 different administrative positions over 3 or 4 different schools within universities. So they're kind of spreading it out. All right. The Blues are off today, but they host the Jets tomorrow. Blues are 4-2-0 so far. World Series is set. Going to be the Yankees and the Dodgers. The series gets underway Friday in Los Angeles. National League Championship Series MVP, former Cardinal, Tommy Edman.
All right. Congratulations, Tommy.
Number 1 for live and local
conservative talk.
Every day, something new.
news, analysis, and opinion.
Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
There's a balance to be struck between being tough and being.
Continuing resolution is never ideal.
The bill sets up another funding battle at the end of the year.
This is the way Democrats want to run elections now.
Harris is not running for perfect.
101.9 and 94.1.
St. Louis is number 1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
Attention thrill seekers and fun lovers. Did you know the Midwest's largest wooden roller rink is right here in Missouri? Welcome to Piccadilly Palace, your ultimate family entertainment destination. Glide across our massive skating floor, conquer arcade challenges, put your way through mini golf, and dive into cutting-edge virtual reality experiences. And coming soon, a relaxing bar and grill patio, state-of-the-art golf simulators, and heart-pounding 2-story go-kart racing next to East Central College in Union, Missouri. Plan your visit now at PiccadillyPalace.com. That's PiccadillyPalace.com.
Mike Ferguson here. Retirement should be a time you can relax. No more stress from work. But there's one thing you can't forget about when retiring. That's your money. Do you have enough saved to fund your income for life and keep up with inflation? How will you claim your Social Security benefits? And what about long-term care? The ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel is here to help answer all of these questions. You can hear their latest views on the markets and investing during On the Money, hosted by Stifel financial advisors Bob Stockdale and Eric Robert, every Saturday morning at 9, right here on News Talk STL. They can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call 636-695-2650, 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Fall is hopping in Mount Vernon, Illinois. Every weekend, enjoy festivals and events, including the third Saturdays in Mount Vernon Flea Market and Vendor Fair, concerts at the Granada Theater, special events at C.E. Brem Memorial Library, Rev Up at Mount Vernon Fall Fest, Cedarhurst Ironclad Art Motorcycle Show, Jefferson County Historical Village Heritage Festival, and so much more. Celebrate creativity redefined all month long in Mount Vernon, Illinois. Find out more information at enjoymountvernon.com. Brought to you in part by Mount Vernon Tourism and Enjoy Illinois.
Navigating healthcare can be tricky, but you don't have to do it alone. The Navigator Project is here to help Missourians every step of the way. We provide free personalized assistance with enrollment in the healthcare marketplace. We'll guide you through your options, help find the right plan, and get the coverage you need. Go to ma4web.org and select the Services tab to find a navigator. Brought to you by the Missouri Association of Area Agencies on Aging.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are in a full sprint in the final 2+ weeks of the 2024 campaign.
The two campaigns are crisscrossing battleground states in a flurry of activity. Harris visited 2 churches in Georgia on Sunday before traveling to Pennsylvania, where she begins the week. Meanwhile, a Trump weekend rally featured profanity aimed at the vice president and vulgarity involving late golfer Arnold Palmer. Harris later said such rhetoric demeans the office of the presidency. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump says the Biden-Harris administration has reversed his achievements in the energy sector.
Blue, we had the best. We were energy independent. First time, I think, ever. We're energy independent, and now we're getting oil from Venezuela. We're getting tar from Venezuela.
Mr. Trump spoke at a campaign rally in Lancaster, Pennsylvania last night. Lebanese are surveying the damage after overnight Israeli strikes hit nearly a dozen branches of a Hezbollah-run financial institution. Israel says the bank is used to fund attacks, but many ordinary people keep their savings in the institution. Many Cubans are waiting in anguish as electricity on much of the island is yet to be restored after days of an island-wide blackout. Their concerns are also raised as Hurricane Oscar first made landfall in the southeastern Bahamas and then slammed into Cuba's coast. Workers at 7 CVS pharmacies in Southern California have gone on strike for better pay and health care, as well as to protest what they say is bad faith contract bargaining by the company. On Wall Street, Dow futures are down 87 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain? Don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free. It's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Hey, pet parents, with Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I call this layers weather, as in jackets in the morning and shorts in the afternoon. In fact, the next couple of afternoons, pretty warm for mid-October. I've got us at 80 today with mostly sunny skies and a south wind at 5 to 10. Back down into the low 50s tonight and early Tuesday, and then even warmer tomorrow, 82 Tuesday afternoon. And believe it or not, a chance of rain tomorrow. Now, it looks pretty spotty, looks fairly light. Let's be ready for a couple of passing showers. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chase.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Piccadilly Palace, located in Union, Missouri. The ultimate family fun center is Piccadilly Palace. Call 314-860-6418 or visit piccadillypalace.com.
Hey, Colombo here for the great team at All Solutions Pest Control. We've been using pest control services at our home for years, and the results we've had with All Solutions are second to none. So if you're experiencing a pest problem, or more importantly, want to prevent a problem, All Solutions Pest Control are the ones to call. Right now, you can take advantage of their incredible $67 introductory offer. Learn more and contact them now at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Looking to enhance your outdoor space? Trust Limay Concrete Block, your local experts since 1947. From Vertiblock and retaining walls to ready-mix concrete and outdoor kits, we've got all your residential and commercial needs covered. As a family-owned business, we take pride in our A+ BBB rating and industry affiliations, with special discounts for military and first responders. Whether you're a homeowner, contractor, or distributor, make a decision set in stone. Call 314-638-9940 or visit our showroom today.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. Mike Ferguson.
You play ball like a girl!
Gabe Pfeiffer.
I triple saw Darius!
Get up! Can't you hear the
Man up, St. Louis.
So it's time to get out of bed. Pour yourself the greatest cup of Kofifi the world has ever seen. Rise up with one voice, drain the swamp, and take back our country. Today's the day we're going to do it, and it's time to do it right now, believe me.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up, this is your cousin.
All right, this was a bizarre weekend in the campaign, but they're all bizarre weekends in the campaign.
Yes, yes.
And when I say the campaign, we know what I'm talking about, right?
Of course.
We all agree when I say, because somebody may say, well, technically, Mike, actually, Mike, there are hundreds of campaigns that are okay. But when I say the campaign,
we all know.
We all know.
Yes.
All right. We know. You know what I'm talking about, Brett. No, I have no idea what you're talking about. All right. So Kamala Harris has found religion or something like that right after basically saying faith is not welcome in her campaign.
Get that ish out of here.
And Donald
basically.
Trump. That's right.
Might as well have said it.
Might as well. Donald Trump serves up fries in a photo op. It was a photo op. I mean,
Yeah,
but
well, yeah.
People are like really excited over this. I'm like, it was a photo op, guys. Relax.
But it was fun.
It was funny. It was
fun. I mean, that's the thing. His campaign is actually joyful.
Yeah, because I mean, I saw
And
the
they
photo
hates it.
op. Yeah, I saw the photo op in the video of him doing the McDonald's drive-through thing, and I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that is a presidential level troll job.
Oh gosh,
of
yes,
Kamala Harris.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And he's like, here you go. I made that one myself. It's like, okay, yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So we're going to start here for a second, assessing Kamala Harris's weekend. Here.
Yes, okay.
Don't forget, we have everything you hear on the air here, the interviews, the shows. It all goes up on the News Talk STL podcast. If you haven't already subscribed, you can subscribe to the whole station. You can subscribe to the show. For instance, each of the interviews that we do, those go up separately.
Yeah.
So if there was an interview, like for instance, we're going to talk to County Councilman Mark Harder in about 30 minutes. And in St. Louis County, we have 3 propositions on the ballot. Most people are going to show up having no idea that that's even there, much less having researched it. So we are going to go over those and what they are and what they would do. And you should take that podcast and send it to your friends and family to say, hey, by the way, you're going to be voting on this. Here's what you need to know.
Right.
So
You
check
need
that
it.
out. Yep. All right. I guess religion can change someone's heart quickly.
Well,
I mean,
that's
it
true.
can. That can happen.
Yeah,
That can-
absolutely. I absolutely believe that.
You can get that old time religion.
You can.
Or the new political religion, whatever it is. You think that's
probably
why-
probably more likely what's going on here.
Yeah, you think that's why Kamala Harris changed her tune so fast when it comes to, faith and stuff. Let me back up a little bit.
Yeah. Let's give some people a primer. They may not have caught this
Over
initially.
And this was lately. Well, actually, it wasn't over the weekend. It was either Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday. She's doing a rally, one of her speeches, and she's talking about abortion, and you can't quite hear it. But what happens is a heckler yells, "Jesus is Lord."
Right.
That's what you can't hear. And then you hear the reaction and you hear her reaction to it. But that's what happens is somebody yells that.
Right.
So here's what happened. It was either Thursday or Friday, but I think it was Friday.
With the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
And then she goes on to say, you want to go to that smaller rally down the street, which I don't know, I guess Donald Trump or maybe a governor's can. I don't know.
No idea.
But somebody else, Jesus is Lord, which why you would walk into a Democratic thing just to heckle, I don't know, but whatever. But they yell, Jesus is Lord, which she should have leaned into and said, I mean, granted, it would have been sacrilegious to say yes in our God-given rights for whatever.
Right. And I mean, she's tried to make the case that abortion, doesn't violate religious convictions, right?
Oh, and the people supporting Amendment 3 in Missouri actually have a TV ad with a woman in a church pew with stained glass reading the Bible, basically saying, well, the Bible says abortion's good.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
It's just so sick. But this heckler yells, Jesus is Lord. And she goes, oh, you're in the wrong rally. And everybody cheers. And when you look at her body language, she's really proud of like, ooh, I finally got him.
Oh
Boy, did
yeah,
I get 'em.
absolutely. And of course, this is an off the cuff moment. This is
Right.
as the Bible would say, out of the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks. So this is definitely that's how she feels about that issue.
Right. And that wherever the rally was, it looked like it was a pretty big place. And people are cheering, yeah, showed you.
Basically.
And then the reaction started.
He said, oops, I was my bad. I didn't mean it like that is basically
Right.
what we were getting from the various campaigns. Sorry, Christians who still vote Democrat. I didn't really mean it that way.
Right. And then she's speaking at a church in Georgia. So now she's going to churches.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And here's part of what she had to say.
Faith and good works go hand in hand. And that is especially true when it comes to protecting our sacred right to vote and getting souls to the polls. And I thank everyone for all you are doing in that regard.
And that was at New Birth Church in Stonecrest, Georgia. So she not only had the souls to the polls, which actually I'm going to give credit where credit's due. That's a pretty catchy line there.
Decent turn of phrase right there.
And she had a souls to the polls social media push over the weekend as well. So in 72 hours, telling the guys who say Jesus is Lord, you're at the wrong rally, to we've got to get souls to the polls to protect our country here. I'm like,
I see.
We have internet. We can see that you said both things, right?
Well, I also find it fascinating that she's at New Birth Church right after talking about abortion.
Exactly.
Yep. I'm just. Yep.
I did not.
I made the connection pretty immediately. Like they don't actually want any of those. New births.
Goodness.
But
maybe if it's a leftist church, maybe it should be like transitioning.
New transition.
New transition.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I think the religiosity, I'll say, of the Democrat candidates has always been in question, and they do themselves a disservice by the way they speak about religion. I can't think of a good one, but there's probably a way for them to kind of skirt the issue enough so that it doesn't come up as a massive hypocritical stance from them. But they never do. They always walk headlong into it. And I think part of it is just because, like I said, the way they feel about it, specifically, very, very conscionable consciously, is they don't like it.
Yeah, and believe me, the way that the Republican Party is moving to the left, they don't have a monopoly on campaigning to Christians. In particular, and I can't speak of other faiths not being of any of the other faiths. So it's not like the Republican Party is doing a great job making sure that Christians feel completely welcome, especially pro-life Christians. But Kamala Harris really it's like my dad used to say, open mouth, insert foot, chew vigorously.
Chew vigorously. Yeah, I think there is a growing messaging problem on the right, but still there's kind of no question as to which one is the friendlier camp. Now, I do think that the Republicans should steal absolutely the souls to the polls.
Yeah, that's pretty handy.
Especially because of how few or I should say how many evangelicals don't vote, and they could really turn the election if you got them out to vote their conscience, which would, like I said, tend to have them side on the Republicans.
Goat Lady on Rumble says that was a who she really is moment.
Yes,
yep,
yes, who she really is. Yes.
And Vicky says, and thou shalt not kill is no longer in the 10 Commandments, right?
Yeah, they kind of they put an asterisk next to it.
Right, exactly. One of the newfangled modern versions.
Yes.
So, and the thing is that the actual translation goes back to, it doesn't even say thou shalt not kill.
It says thou shalt not murder.
Thou shalt not murder. Precisely.
Pretty specific.
So, yeah, very, very specific. So that was Kamala Harris's weekend. This thing is just becoming so cartoonish.
Oh gosh, yes.
And so clownish on there. And I don't get why somebody would want to just heckle and yell out something at a rally if you're the odd man out on that. But it used to be that you could be center left and you could be
outwardly Christian.
Democratic mainstream and still be Christian, and I don't know that you can. And somebody goes in to that rally knowing that when they yell Jesus is Lord, it's going to be in a hostile environment, and that says as much or more about the environment than it does the person who pointlessly decided to heckle, which I don't get heckling at those things, but whatever.
Yeah. And the environment was a lot different at JD Vance's when someone had Christ as king, and and JD handled it just fine.
He said absolutely is, and he kind of went on with
and then
it,
you
with
just
his
go
remarks.
along with your thing. So Kamala, it was funny watching the body language of Kamala Harris, because she's like, "Oh, I really got him." She was doing a little dance, man.
She was swaying a little bit,
and then she got back, and by the time the social media stuff was hitting, her 10-year-old consultants were like, "Oh, we're getting it ratioed, Madam Vice President." that was not good.
I would love to have been there when she realized that the thing that she thought was a big moment for her is not playing so well to her constituency.
Right. Exactly. All right. 314-912-1019. All right. 7:20 or so. Donald Trump does the drive-through thing at McDonald's, does a photo op. And I don't know that I've ever seen this many people excited about drive-through orders at McDonald's. I get it. It was funny.
Hey, when the McRib comes back, people are real excited to be there.
Yeah, I get that. That I understand.
Me included. It's terrible food, but I like a lot.
It's not even real food.
But I love it.
I know. Dang it.
For podcast articles and more, find us on newstalkstl.com. Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Get up, can't you hear the alarm? Get up, this is your cousin.
Larry Connors, USA.
Here's how it works for terrorists fighting Israeli defense forces. One day, you are the leader. The next day, you are dust.
Larry Connors, USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
My friend, death is certain. Are you prepared? Larry Connors here. I don't want to scare you, but your funeral plans are an important conversation you need to have with your spouse, family, other loved ones. My friend Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial can help find you an affordable, final expense life insurance policy, regardless of your health condition. You could qualify up to $30,000 of lifetime coverage. Life insurance plans with Senior Memorial also offer living benefits towards hearing and diabetic supplies, access to a 24-hour teledoc service, discounts on urns, caskets, tombstones. Call my friend Benjamin at Senior Memorial and discover your legacy at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
From home improvement to replacement, do-it-yourself electrical projects can be shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
Hey, it's Vic Porcelli, and my favorite sandwich from Capriati's is the Wagyu beef French dip. So good. It's the au jus that makes it. And the Wagyu beef is pretty good, too. I love Capriati's, and you will, too.
On Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
I think we should be able to have a civil conversation.
The news and talk that matters to St. Louis.
This conversation has completely made me crazy.
This is complete insanity.
News Talk STL.
Bill O'Reilly here. Check out the O'Reilly Update this afternoon at 3:45. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
I used to believe everything I'd see on the news, but that's before I discovered a brain.
A brain is meant for everyday use. Those living with moderate to severe stupidity have seen immediate improvement in common sense with a brain.
I thought the government had my best interest at heart, and then a friend told me about a brain.
Talk to your doctor about what news sources you obey. A brain may also lower your desire to take life-altering advice from celebrities.
Getting lectured about my carbon footprint from people with 3 private jets used to make sense. But thanks to a brain, now I can think for myself every day. When my disregard for 3rd grade biology began to flare up, I knew it was time for a brain.
Do not try a brain if you're allergic to a brain. Common side effects may include accountability, discernment, homeschooling your kids, a better understanding of economics, awareness of the stupidity of socialism, and diarrhea.
For tethering yourself to reality, the only no-brainer is choosing a brain. Ask your doctor if a brain is right for you.
For more information, visit tryabrain.com.
Okay.
We're just here to do a public service.
I wasn't prepared for the diarrhea side effects.
I guess they always have those. And all these terrible things can happen.
Oh, yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, fever, rash, baldness, spontaneous human combustion, and all these, types of things as well there. All right. We've discussed Kamala. Now it's Donald's turn here. 314-912-1019.
Okay.
If you are somebody who got really worked up and you love and you're really excited about working for the McDonald's drive-through there, tell me about it. 314-912-1019. I saw it and I kind of went, all right, that was clever.
Oh, that's fun.
But I didn't expect it to become that much of a thing.
It went viral fast.
Crazy on that. By the way, the local stuff matters. Speaking of elections, we're going to review some of the ballot questions being asked at the county level at 7:35. I am really encouraged by how many people have contacted me and said, hey, can you go over as many of these ballot questions as possible, even if it's just like one county, and I'm going to be moving around to different counties. So we're going to hit the first one of those at 7:35.
Yep.
All right. So before I get to the McDonald's drive-through thing, which I thought, that was clever. That was funny. Not that big of a deal, guys.
Yeah,
It's a photo op.
It's a photo op.
Man, did people take it over the top with that. Donald Trump had a couple rallies himself. Pretty standard things that he was hitting in his rallies. This is part of what he had to say.
Number one, no tax on Social Security for our seniors. That's a big deal. No tax on tips also, as you know, and no tax for all different groups we're covering, right? And no tax on overtime.
Okay, and then he hit his other issues that he always does
as
far as manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. So I played a clip from Kamala Harris's rally. I figured I'd play one from Donald Trump's as well. And then there's the McDonald's drive-through thing.
Yeah.
And first of all, this has to be an absolute nightmare for the Secret Service.
Oh, I saw some pictures of what the perimeter looked like around there.
Goodness.
And there was troopers.
Yeah.
There were guys in camo and the police cars, and it was a full-on perimeter. Well, because the thing is, somebody tried to kill him a couple times.
Right. and if I saw if I for some reason decided I wanted McDonald's, I'm trying to never do that because, like you said, it's not even real food.
No, not really.
But if I'm going through and they find out, it's all crazy because Donald Trump or anybody, I'm like, I'll go to Wendy's,
dude.
I don't want to get caught up in the middle of all of that. I don't want to.
If the drive-through line is like a couple cars beyond, the parking lot, there's no way I'm even going near it.
See,
so certainly not if it's got a perimeter full of police cars and guys in fatigues.
I'm the same way. I am. I don't like to wait for food. So
right.
This is one of the many things about me that drives my wife nuts. Is if we go into like a restaurant and they're like, it's a 40-minute wait. Nope, let's go.
Let's go.
And she's like, but wait a minute. By the time we drive to the other restaurant and wait 10 minutes, it's the same amount of time. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm not.
You want to feel like you're making progress towards something.
if I see that there are like 6-7 cars in the drive-through, unless they are moving every 15 seconds.
Well,
no.
6-7 cars at a Chick-fil-A is different than 6-7 cars at a McDonald's.
30 cars at a Chick-fil-A is different than 5 at a McDonald's.
You're not wrong. I have clocked the same amount of time.
I mean,
between those two
you
scenarios.
Have supply chain problems and logistics problems. Don't bring in the military. Bring in Chick-fil-A.
Absolutely,
they'll figure it out.
And it'll be their pleasure.
Oh. Nice.
You see what I did there?
That's right. Okay, but he does the drive-through thing, and again, I thought, okay, this is a pretty funny troll of Kamala Harris.
Oh gosh, yeah,
because she said, I worked at McDonald's. Well, it doesn't. Turns out she never worked at McDonald's.
There's no indication that ever happened.
Had she just been able to hold her tongue and not lie about something that stupid, this would not have been an option for Donald Trump.
She's constantly trying to do this street cred embellishment.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I call it anyway, because a lot of people at our level, they try to embellish up.
Yeah.
Because they make themselves, it's a self-importance thing. Oh yeah, I went to this school and I got this degree and I worked at this company and all that stuff, trying to make themselves big. What a lot of politicians are trying to do now, especially because populism is so popular right now, is they try to embellish their street cred. So she's saying, it's like, hey, I grew up in a middle class family. That's what that was, by the way. That was an embellishment of her street cred. And then I worked at McDonald's. That's an embellishment of her street cred. So she's I don't know why they do this, because it's easily verifiable. It's like, they have records of these kind of things, and they're usually easy to find. And if there was nobody who ever remembers working with the current vice president at McDonald's, that would be a problem, because if you worked with somebody who actually got up to the level of vice president, you would know, and you would tell everybody, because we embellish up.
That's right. Did you guys ever work at fast food places?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Where'd you work?
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Wendy's for me. Wendy's in Quincy, Illinois. I was after a while, I was the specialist who kept the salad bar looking very nice. Because we had a salad bar in Quincy.
If you count that time, I got to go behind the counter to fill up my own drink at one place where my friend worked. Yeah, I worked at a. No, I'm kidding.
And that's what's funny is, you have crap jobs.
Sure.
When you're working your way up.
Oh yeah.
And there are people. I'm not saying that when I say crap jobs, I'm talking about the starter jobs.
Starter jobs.
I don't mean they're bad jobs. I don't mean they're illegitimate. They are they're jobs with dignity. And I paid my rent of $90 a month in my first apartment working at Wendy's.
Sure.
In Quincy, Illinois. And then later on, I was working at the mall selling basketball shoes at the shoe store.
It's a starter life.
It's a starter thing.
Yeah.
And had Kamala Harris just simply been able to refrain from saying something that wasn't true about something that simple, Donald Trump doesn't get to own Twitter and own Instagram over the weekend.
Oh, and he absolutely owns it right now, because basically he's like, people are saying Donald Trump's 15-minute turn at the fryer makes him 15 minutes more of work at McDonald's than Kamala Harris.
Right.
So,
and no one has come out and said anything to validate the fact that she actually worked at one.
Oh, of course not.
No.
Like you guys said, somebody would have easily said, oh, yeah, I worked with her
I
for
remember her
that summer.
That didn't happen.
The minute she showed up in public life, somebody who worked with her doing something, mundane would say something about it.
Yeah,
because that's what happens.
Yeah. I mean, and it's one thing, there's nothing wrong with candidates and politicians relating to people saying, listen, here's where I started. Here's my life experience.
Yeah.
You know what? I worked at fast food for a long time. I worked in retail. My first jobs were farm jobs. Okay. Is that a big deal? No, that's just what you did in the Midwest when you were a kid, because I was too young to get hired in other places, but the farmers would hire you and pay you cash.
Oh yeah.
So if we were willing to do the work, they were willing to pay us, it wasn't much, but still that's what we did. But that's part of your experience. Just don't make it up.
Right.
And so Donald Trump, who never had to work in fast food, he didn't need a starter job.
Came from money.
He came from money. So he gets us, 30 minutes in or whatever he did now, and the internet goes crazy. And I'm like, it's a photo op. It wouldn't be that big of a deal, except Kamala Harris laid it up for him.
Well, and also it's Donald Trump, and when people go crazy either for or against Donald Trump, it makes all kinds of news.
Okay, he had another thing in a rally.
Oh no.
Yeah,
whenever you say it like that, I'm like, okay, what did he do this
because
time?
I don't want anybody saying that I don't do the objective thing and show both sides. I don't know what goes through his head when he does stuff like this. He's in Pennsylvania, and I don't know how the late golfer Arnold Palmer came up.
Okay.
I guess he's from the area. I don't know.
All right.
He's talking about,
he is from Pennsylvania.
He's talking about Arnold Palmer.
Right.
Not the drink, the actual golfer.
The actual golfer.
The late Arnold Palmer. And here's what I just don't understand what goes through Donald Trump's brains. He actually said this from the stage with thousands of people around him.
But Arnold Palmer was all man. And I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this is a guy that was all man. His man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
I had to say it.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
We have women that are highly sophisticated here, but they used to look at Arnold as a bad, but he was really something
Why?
special.
Why?
I think Donald Trump rallies are a different thing. They're more like stand up than they are political rally, and I think that is both a strength and a weakness of his campaign to me, because the because it leads to stuff like this. First of all, that's a major weakness. Like I don't want my president talking about another man's junk. I don't want that. I don't like that. It makes me feel creepy.
You are in the position to win right now. Be presidential. I mean, the photo op and the fast food, great,
right,
fantastic. Don't talk about another dude's stuff.
Yeah. So now, of course, the positives of the rally are rally type of events that he has are pretty good. It allows him to talk a little more down with the people as opposed to the stump speech kind of idea, right? But it leads to this, and I think that's part of the problem. If I'm his campaign manager, I'm just like, done.
Yeah,
done.
Come on.
Why though?
Why? just say no tax on tips, and everybody goes, yay! Oh my goodness. All right, let's talk about some of the elections, the referendum issues that you're going to be deciding in 2 weeks. And we're talking about the very local ones. You're going to know stuff about the ballot that most of your colleagues and friends and neighbors are not going to know after we talk to Mark Harder here at around 7:34.
Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I call this layers weather, as in jackets in the morning and shorts in the afternoon. In fact, the next couple of afternoons, pretty warm for mid-October. I've got us at 80 today with mostly sunny skies and a south wind at 5 to 10. Back down into the low 50s tonight and early Tuesday, and then even warmer tomorrow, 82 Tuesday afternoon. And believe it or not, a chance of rain tomorrow. Now, it looks pretty spotty, looks fairly light. Let's be ready for a couple of passing showers. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chin.
If I could be you.
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Larry Connor's Commentary, brought to you by Vincent Jewelers, locally owned for almost 45 years. Vincent Jewelers, the official jeweler of Larry Connor's USA. Check for daily specials at vincentjewelers.com. This is Larry Connor's Commentary on News Talk STL.
Last week, Phillips 66 said it would close its operations at its Los Angeles area refinery next year. The giant announcement comes just days after California Governor Gavin Newsom signed legislation aimed at preventing gas prices from spiking by requiring refineries to hold a certain amount of fuel in reserve. Now, Phillips 66 did not directly address that legislation, and a spokesman said it didn't have anything to do with it. Right. We all know everyone in California, most of them, hate fossil fuels. They want all electric. The refinery closing is going to leave 8 petroleum refineries operating in California. And Newsom has been complaining that the oil companies are extorting money from California citizens. And in fact, from a AAA report, California gas prices versus national prices, Saturday, October 1 in California, $6.35. Nationwide, same date, $3.80. But keep in mind, there's also 70-cent a gallon tax in California on each gallon. Maybe it's not lowering the prices. How about this? Lower your damn state taxes.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
My sponsor, Wellington Environmental, has helped thousands deal with hazardous materials. Hospitals, offices, schools, even homes. Here's something new. Wellington now offers dustless blasting. This is just like sandblasting, but without all the dust and emissions. Wellington uses everything from ground glass, walnuts, corn, even dry ice pellets. One university had Wellington remove their parking lot striping because dustless blasting is fast and it does not damage the concrete. So as a business or homeowner, I'm sure you could use this process. Industrial tanks, swimming pools, graffiti on buildings. And in fact, Wellington is blasting a Texaco station that will be revised as an historic building. Check the website for details and photos. WellingtonSTL.com. WellingtonSTL.com.
Hey, Tony Colombo here with Tim Jones for our friends Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway, the #1 home selling team in the St. Louis area. And I can say that from firsthand experience. My wife and I were blown away from the results that we saw from working with Rodney and Jen, from selling our old home faster and for more money than we thought possible to finding our family's perfect new home. They over-delivered every step of the way. And right now, it's still very much a seller's market. So, Tim, for folks that have been thinking about selling their home, it's a perfect time to call the Wallners.
That's right, Tony. And don't forget, they're licensed in both Missouri and Illinois, so no matter where you are in the metro area, you can put St. Louis's #1 home selling team to work for you. The Wallners' experience and work ethic, second to none. And of course, the numbers speak for themselves. The Wallners sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor. Right now, they're working with so many qualified buyers, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call the Wallners now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD for the Wallner home selling team.
Whether at home or at work, you're mobile. So when you're mobile, stay mobile. Keep St. Louis's home for conservative talk with you wherever you go. Download the News Talk STL app in the App Store or at newstalkstl.com.
Hi, it's Vic Porcelli.
And Ken.
Hi, Ken.
Hey, Vic.
Ken and I are on every Monday through Friday, 9 to 11, right here on News Talk STL. Right now, you're listening to Mike Ferguson in the morning on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Whoosh, my morning, people.
All right, we've covered the statewide ballot questions on both sides of the river. Because remember, we talked about the advisory questions that are on the ballot in Illinois. Then obviously the most of the propositions on the Missouri side, which we are going to get to all of them between now and election day. But there are also some in St. Louis County specifically. So let's review those as well. It is 7:37. I'm Mike. Got Gabe here. Got Stell here. Don't forget, News Talk STL's social media. And we're seeing more reports now confirming what we knew was the case before and is still the case now, particularly with Facebook, YouTube as well. Anything that is conservative, or I should say anything that is not fringe left, is being suppressed through their algorithms on purpose, artificially throttled.
Yes.
So let's beat them anyway. If you're on Rumble, please hit the like on not just News Talk STL, but if on today's stream, Facebook, hit the like. Please share that.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is just click that share as well. And of course, Twitter, X. If you're wherever you're watching it, please help us get the word out there, and let's defeat their algorithms. Use their tools against them to get the word out. All right, joined now by St. Louis County Councilman Mark Harder. Mark, hey, appreciate you being on the program. I want to get to your state Senate campaign here in just a few minutes. A lot of people are going to show up at the polls and not realize in St. Louis County there are 3 different propositions they're going to be voting on. So I appreciate you kind of giving us the rundown of what these things are. And I've got my, you get that thing in the mail from the county that says, hey, here's your sample ballot.
Yep.
I don't know how many people open them up and actually read them like I do because I'm kind of a nerd. But a lot of people just look at that and say, I know there's a presidential race, and they toss the thing in the trash. But let's start here at Proposition A. And of course, not to be confused with the state stuff, County Proposition A. And this has to do with vacancies on the St. Louis County Port Authority Board of Commissioners, which a lot of people would, their eyes just glazed over.
Yes, like, excuse me, what?
Yeah, they're like, what? Why do I? Okay, so what is it that we're voting on, and what's at stake?
Well, good morning, Mike and guys. Yes, well, first off, let me say that if you have not received your ballot in the mail in St. Louis County, you can go on to the county website under the election board and print your own sample ballot. But I encourage everybody to take a look at that. Don't throw it in the trash. Spend the time going through, make your choices, and then bring that with you to the polls so that you can get through the voting process quick and efficiently come November 5th. So with that said, a couple things. Yes, there's 3 propositions from the St. Louis County, not to be confused with the state. 3 of them. It's Proposition A, C as in cat, and O as in Oscar. And so those 3 deal with changes to our county charter and to make it more relevant to today and to take back some power from the county executive and give it to the council board. So Proposition A, as you said, deals with our Port Authority, and a lot of people go, "What's a Port Authority?" Well, Port Authority is a body of volunteers that represent a fund of money that is given to us through rent from the South County Casino. They rent, they have a land lease, and they rent that land down there where the casino sits to St. Louis County, and it generates between $6 and $10 million a year. And that money then is given to this board, and this board decides how to invest it in economic development in St. Louis County. Up until this point, the county executive has appointed representatives on this on this group, the Port Authority. And so what we want is representation from each of our 7 county council districts to be represented on that board based on the recommendation of each council person. So it basically takes it out of the hands of the county executive to appoint his friends or political allies and gives it back to the council, and then we can appoint our representatives from our areas to represent the interest of this board.
Morning, Mark. Gabe. Oh, sorry.
No, that's it.
Okay. But Gabe here. Wanted to talk about Proposition C. Now, this is related to the retention of legal counsel, right? For the council, as opposed to the lawyer that is for the executive. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. This I have a feeling the Proposition C, this is the meaty one that I really want everybody to know about.
Yeah.
Right. And that one is very important. And we pushed for this before. And this started back during the Stanger administration, where the council, actually at the time led by Sam Page, wanted legal counsel, and he actually he paid for our legal counsel to give us advice on the issues dealing with the issues with Steve Stanger and what was going on back then. So right now, for people out there, we can only use the legal team that is the county legal team, and those people are appointed by the county executive. So we want our own lawyer, not that they have to sit there every day. I think it would be more of an ability for us to put somebody on a retainer or to use them when we need them. We don't need them on every issue, but it's good to have somebody that we can trust, that we can go to and ask for our legal opinion for the council when we act as a body, usually against the county executive or against some other type of issue out there. So this is probably one of the more important ones of the 3. They're all important, but I'd say this one's probably more important. And as with Proposition A, I recommend people vote yes on that and yes on this one as well.
So basically, just to make sure I've got this in layman's terms, we're not talking about adding another position. We're not talking about adding another office or anything. We're talking about the council, like, unfortunately, constantly in a conflict with Sam Page and his overreach, and before with a conflict with Steve Stanger. So we're talking about the council having the right to hire its own legal representation on a case-by-case basis. That's really all we're talking about.
Correct. We could either, and that would be set up by ordinance at a later date once this passed, but we can set it up either that we hire this person on a case-by-case basis, or we could hire this person on a retainer that we could use for counsel, and that way all 7 of us could call that person and say, hey, here's this piece of legislation that came down. What's your opinion? And then they can actually develop an opinion and give it to the rest of the council. So it's having that ability. Right now, we don't have that ability. We have to use the counsel that is provided to us by St. Louis County government.
Good morning, Mark Stell here. Well, since you've covered A and C, go ahead and look at O and tell us what that's about, since it deals with the start dates of the terms of office. What's that all about?
Right. And this is the clarification on, if you remember when we had the big fight over leadership, and that came down to the timing of whether an outgoing council person could vote for the leadership of the incoming council, and that whole issue. And our charter was kind of vague in that regard of when the council starts the next term. So what this does is clarify that the next term and the next voting for leadership basically falls on the first Tuesday after the 1st of January. If you remember, we used to be sworn in on January 1st. Well, that fell on different dates of the year. So we want to be very specific that we don't have our first meeting of the new term. It will be the first Tuesday of January, no matter how January 1st falls. So that will be our swearing date. That will be in the first meeting of the term, and that will be the meeting that we vote for leadership going forward for that year's period of time. So it's just a clarification and makes it clean so that we don't get into a big leadership fight again over basically who can vote and who can't vote when it comes to terms.
All right. And depending on how the political winds blow over the years to come, then this doesn't necessarily favor one side or the other. It just says, okay, here are the dates, here are the timelines. This is what everybody works with. That seems pretty cut and dry. We're visiting with County Councilman Mark Harder, and it just got a minute or so left here, Mark, but you're also running for state Senate as well. You're in one of those districts where every vote's got to be earned there. When you look at West County, look at the county itself, and what the state legislature needs to be tuned into as far as what we need around here. What is it that you want to bring to the legislature just in general? Because I wish I had more time to go into all the different issues. But some of the top of the to-do list should Councilman Mark Harder become Senator Mark Harder.
Well, and I'm wish that would have happened, but I unfortunately lost the primary. So
oh my gosh, I am so sorry about that. Yes, oh crap, I am so sorry.
Wish I was.
Yeah, no, Mark, I am so sorry. That needs another cup of coffee on that because we had everybody in that race on there as well. That's a completely unprofessional brain fart on my part on that, Mark. I'm so sorry about that.
But I encourage people to get out and vote. Early voting starts tomorrow at many of the libraries. Check with the election board for a location near you. In West St. Louis County, it will be at the Daniel Boone Library and at the City of Wildwood City Hall, as well as the Grand Glaze Library down towards the Fenton area. So those will be the 3 locations in West County that people can vote on this upcoming election. And that way, if people are really freaked out about getting in long lines or, voting on election day, this will be the time to get that done and get your vote to count ahead of time once they start counting on November 5th.
All right. County Councilman Mark Harder, man, appreciate the update.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, buddy. We'll talk later.
Talk to you soon. All right. 314-912-1019. Got any questions or follow up about that? Let me know. Let's talk. Otherwise, we got Thanksgiving coming up here, right?
Oh, no. That's right.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That means I got to cook.
Well, you know what? What you cook could change depending on whether or not some activists get their way.
Oh, really?
They have something to say about what you do for dinner
on
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I will tell you all about it. They're going on tour and everything.
Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Here I come again now, baby. Like a dog.
Nate Lucas here for the Village Bar in the heart of Des Peres. Since 1948, the Village Bar has been the go-to destination for delicious food, cold drinks, and unbeatable atmosphere. Savor their famous wings, burgers, and onion rings, or grab a drink from their fully stocked bar. Catch all the big games and enjoy the company of their friendly staff. Plus, don't miss the 1879 Distillery, a one-of-a-kind experience right next door. The Village Bar offers the best value in town. Find the Village Bar on Facebook and come experience where history meets great times. You'll be glad you did.
Taxpayers, it's time to take a stand. Meet Robert Crump, a Navy veteran and your Republican candidate for State Senate District 1. When it comes to lower taxes, Crump's not budging an inch. No new tax increases, no nickel and diming working families. Crump's a man of action standing up to the tax man, unwavering like a red, white, and blue flag flying high in the wind. This November, vote Robert Crump, a strong fighter for lower taxes. Robert Crump.
Paid for by Crump for State Senate 2024. Chris Clark, Treasurer.
I want you to know that McGuire Moving and Storage is silver certified, which means McGuire has a quality reputation helping older adults move local or long distance. And something else to know, Josh McGuire, president of McGuire Moving and Storage, is the only certified moving consultant in Missouri. I'll tell you, once you met Josh, you're going to know your move will be easy. And I fully endorse McGuire Moving and Storage. McGuireMoving.com.
Getting new flooring can be exciting, or it can be a hassle. To make sure you have a great experience, use Michael's Flooring, like I did. Hi, it's Susie Moore, and Michael's Flooring has become my go-to for quality, variety, and an all-around great experience. They've been locally owned and operated for more than 30 years. Carpet, hardwood, laminate, ceramic tile, natural stone, luxury vinyl, it doesn't matter. Michael's Flooring is ready to help. 3 locations to pick from: St. Peter's, Darting Prairie, and Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloor.com. That's igotfloor.com.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com.
Bill O'Reilly here. Check out the O'Reilly Update this afternoon at 3:45. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the Morning on News Talk STL.
All right. Looking at a lot of the election stuff. I think let's compare Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's weekends again. Maybe we'll do that around 8:35 or so.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, because it is. And this whole campaign right now at this point, it's all a great big cartoon.
Well, and you have to laugh at it. On some level.
If you don't, I mean, I look around, I'm like 330 million Americans, and this is what we have now for the presidential race.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't laugh at it, I don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, and on some level, I feel the existential dread, but on another, I was like, this is fun.
Oh my goodness. All right. So Halloween's not a holiday, so the next actual holiday is Thanksgiving coming up, right?
Right. That's right.
Now, a lot of people, they're like, let me get through Halloween first, then I'll get to Thanksgiving. I get it. That's fine.
I mean, there's candy to be purchased still.
I saw a brilliant idea on social media, and I wish that I had thought of it.
Okay.
Like, I would love to go to one of those antique stores and find one of those candy dispensers where you have to put a quarter in and put that on my porch. So
there
the kid
you
wants
go.
candy, put in a quarter. They get candy. I make a little money. Everybody wins.
Oh my gosh!
Teach the kids a lesson in capitalism.
I could just rent a full-on vending machine.
I know.
Why not? Just put it around on the porch.
Of course, based on the experience I had with the kids that get dropped off in our neighborhood, they probably just pick up the whole machine and run off with it.
They came with a dolly.
Yeah, really. Jeez. All right. So get this. PETA. So you know this is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
PETA does not like Thanksgiving.
Oh, of course. Yes, that's right. The turkey pardoning
Because
and all that
the
other stuff.
turkeys,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah,
they
because
get really upset.
They don't
about
like it. So PETA has announced that they are heading into 30 states. They're doing a tour of 30 states. They've got this truck that is got video screens all around it, or not video screens, but they've got pictures printed all around it.
All right.
And the pictures are of turkeys jammed into all these cages.
Okay.
And so they're going to go into areas where people are like buying their Thanksgiving meals, and they're going to drive this truck in, and they've got sound effects of what turkeys sound like when they get their heads chopped off to make your turkey meal.
Okay.
So they're also going to, and I'm reading from their press release. This is PETA's press release. They will bombard them, meaning shoppers, meaning us, bombard them with actual recorded sounds of the birds' cries, along with a subliminal message every 10 seconds suggesting that people go vegan for Thanksgiving. So this is part of its tour across 30 states. The truck aims to raise awareness of the 46 million turkeys who are killed every year for Thanksgiving.
I could just as easily broadcast the cries of people who eat vegan turkey.
Oh, yeah.
and that would drown out whatever. It's like, you know what? Whatever qualms I had about the way turkeys are raised in America currently, I do not want a tofurkey for Thanksgiving. You can take that stuff.
They're going to start this with, well, you could shove it somewhere and it'd probably taste better. But they're going to start with a place called Bristol Farms in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
So they're going to go harass people who are buying turkeys.
Harass the farmers
for Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Taking it to the main people.
So I'm guessing the DOJ and the FBI will not be investigating.
I would not think so.
No.
But they're calling this hell on wheels. That's what PETA is calling it.
Hey, wait a minute. That's already taken.
Hell on wheels. Oh my goodness. And here's the thing is I'm looking at the why, and I'm looking at their press release here. It says, and again, I'm reading their stuff. This is not Mike speaking. This is PETA speaking.
Okay.
I eat protein, so I have the energy to do this. It says, why? In the meat industry, turkeys are confined by the tens of thousands to severely overcrowded, filthy sheds and bred to grow such unnaturally large upper bodies that their legs often become crippled under the weight. Because the turkey breast tastes good. That's why. And it goes on to say turkeys raised for food are often slaughtered within their first 6 months of life, and millions are killed each year for Thanksgiving alone. And now remember, they're saying that like it's a bad thing.
Okay, yeah.
Workers hang their young birds upside down, drag them through an electrified bath, slit their throats, and dump them onto scalding hot defeathering tanks, often while they are still conscious. No, they're unconscious by then, but still.
Well, with their heads gone.
They're not conscious. Yeah. But here's the thing. You know what they forgot?
What was that?
Because they taste good.
Because they taste good.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. You ever had smoked turkey?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I do. That's what I do every year.
I'm telling you, man. That's good
turkey.
stuff right there.
And you can go to the extra effort of going to a free range farm and get them from a free range farm where they get to live a normal life.
Until we eat them.
Yeah.
When it's important to you,
they always discuss the most important topics.
It's on News Talk STL.
The people of Iran should know Israel stands with you.
If the Israelis decide to enter my land, the resistance forces are ready for a ground engagement.
Hurricane Helene ravaged North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida.
News, analysis, opinion.
We're not talking about politics now. We have to all get together and get this solved.
Number one for live and local conservative talk.
My talk station.
News Talk STL.
She learned the value of hard work and responsibility at her family's small business at an early age. Ann Wagner took those same hard-working Missouri values to Washington. She's made it her job to keep the radical left from harming your job. Today, in the midst of Joe Biden's out-of-control inflation, Ann Wagner protects us by working to lower costs for families. As a mother of three, she understands the work and has done it to keep your home and community safe. That's why Ann Wagner fought to secure our border and stop traffickers from smuggling fentanyl and illegal immigrants into our communities, and why she gave law enforcement the tools they need to defend us. And Ann Wagner took a stand against the defund the police radicals who will leave us in harm's way. She'll always back our brave law enforcement officers, putting conservative values to work for us. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Ready to explore the underwater world? Great American Divers, your veteran-owned local scuba center, is making waves with incredible offers. Get $50 off any new open water course when you mention News Talk STL. And mark your calendars. November 8th and 9th is our massive fall sale. Everything in store on sale, plus our huge swap and sale event for quality used gear. Daddy certification, equipment repairs, we got it all. Our experienced staff is passionate about teaching, and we're the only center in the area with our own indoor heated pool. Visit GreatAmericanDivers.com today. Great American Divers, where adventure runs deep.
Looking for a high school that nurtures your child's mind, body, and spirit? Discover Duchesne High School, where faith and tradition shape tomorrow's leaders.
At Duchesne, I'm challenged academically with advanced courses.
And I get the support I need to build my skills.
With small classes, sports, and tons of clubs, there's a place for everyone here.
Duchesne offers a Catholic college prep education tailored to each student's unique gifts. Scholarships available. Join us for our open house on October 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Learn more at duchesne-hs.org.
Transform your space with JML Interior Design in Clayton. For 32 years, local woman business owner Jeannie Lashmet has been creating stunning interiors that reflect your vision. From residential to commercial, kitchens to corporate spaces, JML Interior Design brings expertise to every project. Planning a home remodel, tackling new construction, or the expert commercial interior space planning service. Jeannie and her team deliver great designs that work. Call 314-453-4233 or visit jmlinteriors.net. JML Interior Design. We just don't dream it, we do it.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. The United States is investigating an unauthorized release of classified documents that assess Israel's plans to attack Iran, and note that Israel continues to move military assets in place to conduct a military strike in response to Iran's ballistic missile attack on October 1st. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump is vowing to improve the economy for average Americans.
We will get your energy bill, everybody in the audience, including businesses, down by 50% from 1 year from when we take office. And when that happens, everything else is going to follow.
The former president spoke at a campaign rally in Lancaster, Pennsylvania last night. The race for the White House is kicking into high gear 15 days before the election.
On the trail today, Vice President Harris will join former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney for a series of campaign events across the Blue Wall battleground states. They'll make stops in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Meanwhile, former President Trump is headed to Asheville, North Carolina to see the devastation of Hurricane Helene and deliver remarks. He'll hold a rally in Greensboro tomorrow night. Greg Clugston, the White House.
South Korea has summoned the Russian ambassador to demand the immediate pullout of North Korean troops allegedly deployed in Russia. South Korea's spy agency said last week it had confirmed that North Korea sent 1,500 special operation forces to Russia earlier this month to support Russia's war against Ukraine. For the first time in 43 years, the New York Yankees and Los Angeles Dodgers will meet in the World Series beginning Friday night at Dodger Stadium. LA moved into the World Series last night with a 10-5 win over the New York Mets, clinching the National League Championship Series 4-2. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are off 47 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The instability of our economy after this election has many worried, and stocks and bonds could be the first to collapse. Countless Americans are turning to the safest store of wealth in human history to protect their retirement accounts. Physical precious metals. Gold has been a safe haven asset for generations. At Premier Gold, we specialize in helping those with a 401k, IRA, or other types of retirement accounts convert their vulnerable paper assets into physical gold to protect their hard-earned savings. Today, we'd like to send you a free gold election kit to help you decide if this is right for you. Call 606-800-8000 to claim yours. Act before the election to take advantage of the current rollover policies, allowing for a quick and seamless transfer into physical gold or silver. Don't let the outcome of this election influence the fate of your financial future. Call 606-800-8000 now. Premier Gold is not a financial advisor. Please consult with your advisor before investing. Call 606-800-8000.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I call this layers weather, as in jackets in the morning and shorts in the afternoon. In fact, the next couple of afternoons, pretty warm for mid-October. I've got us at 80 today with mostly sunny skies and a south wind at 5 to 10. Back down into the low 50s tonight and early Tuesday, and then even warmer tomorrow, 82 Tuesday afternoon. And believe it or not, a chance of rain tomorrow. Now, it looks pretty spotty, looks fairly light. Let's be ready for a couple of passing showers. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Senior Memorial. With the average funeral bill being over $9,000, are your loved ones prepared? Call 314-866-8886 or memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Missouri's Amendment 3 is cleverly worded to convince you that it only allows abortions until fetal viability. But it has loopholes that allow for abortions through all 9 months of pregnancy. Abortion proponents used to say safe, legal, and rare. But now they want abortion as common as the morning after pill. Plus, minor-aged children will have access to sex change surgeries without parental consent. Vote no on Amendment 3.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John B. Royal Treasurer.
Tim Jones here with Eric from Newsteaders. Eric, believe it or not, the holidays are right around the corner. What are y'all doing over at the jewelry store?
Don't let fine and fine jewelry confuse you. We have pieces starting at $100 that will keep your loved one happy for a lifetime. And don't forget, Christmas is only a few months away. Get started early. We also have a wish list to ensure your loved one gets exactly what they want. And we're also bringing back a layaway program to make your life easier.
It can all be found at wowdiamonds.com. That's Newsteaders Fine Jewelers at wowdiamonds.com.
Mike Ferguson.
Are you pretending to be crazy?
Gabe Pfeiffer.
There's something serious I have to tell you about the future.
Get up, St. Louis.
Will you guys knock it off?
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up, this is your cousin.
Okay, honest, just throw open the door to whatever conversation comes from this question here, guys.
Okay.
We've got just over 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow is the election.
Yes.
Now, for news junkies and political junkies, there's a lot of people that just are stoked about
It's prime time, man. The Super Bowl's coming.
That's right. It's the Super Bowl. Other people are basically saying, can we get this thing over with?
Yeah.
Please. You know, these are the people that like have the t-shirts that say sweet meteor of death 2024 kind of thing.
And there are a few people who are like, what? There's an election?
Yeah, there's a few. And honestly, those people who say, what? There's not. Don't worry about it.
Like,
go about your life. Don't even worry about
don't
it.
worry about it.
I would rather you not vote.
Yeah.
314-912-1019, 806 right now. We're going to get you caught up on a bunch of the news that is going to happen around 8:20, and then 8:35. Let's compare Kamala's and Donald's weekend, because it was a weird weekend of the campaign.
Yes. Eventful, but
and,
weird.
And here's the thing is, I am glad that people take politics and campaigns so personally. I really am glad that we see the impact on our lives, especially now that over the course of my life, we've gone from, debating the little nuances in policy because the parties were center right, center left. They were leaning one way or the other.
Yeah.
To now the left in particular is fall off the table fringe.
Mm-hmm.
And the right has moved away from the conservative base. It's much more populist right now. So we're now talking about basic fundamental rights. We're talking about the size of government. We're talking about all these different things that people take very, very personally, and we should. Now, the consequences that come with that is that families are like having divisions through them over politics.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've already walked out of a church because the preacher got left-wing political. And so this kind of stuff happens.
Right.
And that part of it's not good societally. But my question is, and 314-912-1019, and I asked this a couple hours ago, got a few answers. I'd love to do it again here. And that is, are you excited about the next 2 weeks? Are you looking forward to it? Are you in the zone, man? Or are you in the camp that says, can we please get this stupid thing over with?
I need to decide whether or not it's a good time to invest, or I need to hunker down. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what I want to find. Is like, do I need to shore up my plans to build my apocalypse house out in the woods, or can I look for some positivity in the economy coming up? Those are the two different scenes that I see coming up, and I just need to know so I can deal.
Both of those scenes may happen no matter who gets elected.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Positive economic activity, and you need that bunker in the woods.
I think
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it's highly possible.
well, one side wants to tax the snot out of all of us. Another side wants to add a bunch of tariffs that are going to raise prices anyway. So I mean, there's bad and there's worse when it comes to, there's picking winners and losers on one side, and then there's making everybody losers on the other side. So, I'm not wild about all of what we're seeing from anybody at this point. I mean, there's just too much big government. There's too many winners and losers, but that's what comes with populism. That's what happens when you shift to populism away from a conservative, fiscally conservative base. And the left is just, my gosh, come on, Democrats. What in the world? How did this happen?
They've become the party of the elite.
Oh, yeah.
And the
fringe,
billionaires on that side,
and the fringe elite.
Yes.
I mean, the fringe is just insane. I mean, at some point, I've got to think that there are, 60, 70, 80-year-old Democrats out there, probably a lot of them listening right now, who are saying, how did we get here from when it was Harry Truman or, Ike Skelton or even Dick Gephardt? You could even say in the last 20 years, Lacey Clay, who was a liberal, but he wasn't fringe. You went from Lacey Clay to Cori Bush. How did that happen?
Well, here's something to bake your noodle too. You got Barack Obama running for the defense of traditional marriage, running on the defense of traditional marriage, and now we have the Title IX changes that want to put grown men with with parts into your daughter's locker room over at the Y.
Yeah, Vicky on Rumble says, I'm hunkering down. The crazies are going to lose their minds.
Regardless, right?
Yeah. I feel what you're saying there, Vicky. I think you're right.
You mentioned the traditional marriage issue with Obama.
Yeah.
The night that he lit up the White House.
Oh, in the rainbow colors?
In the rainbow colors.
That's right. I remember that.
That was it for me. I thought, you know what? As a kid from Chicago who cautioned everybody about you getting into the White House, now I can see why, maybe I was right, even though everybody told me, oh, man, no, you're wrong. He's a great guy. And I'm telling you, no, be careful. This guy's going to cause a lot of problems. You're going to see the Democratic machine everywhere. And sadly, that's what we're seeing.
Well, and it's interesting because the LGBT stuff is way on the back burner with the left right now. They are feeling the backlash.
That's true.
In a huge way. Now it's abortion that they want to lead with, now at this point. And they've tried with student loans. And I think they're actually shocked that the student loan thing did not capture as much of the younger vote as they thought that it would.
Yeah.
Because even people in there, people who are now working for a living, now there's a lot of them going, wait a minute. What do you mean I have to pay for everybody else's loans? They don't just disappear when you do that.
Right.
But the LGBT stuff has really been pushed on the back burner. And look where that was 2022. Look where that was in 2020.
That's
look
true.
where that was in 2018.
That's true.
It was far more in the front of the campaign pushed by the left. Now the right is saying, hey, look at how nuts they've gone because you didn't put them in check. Time to put them in check. I saw one article over the weekend that for all the talk about suburban moms being a definite vote for Harris and the Democrats, this boys and girls sports thing has a lot of them rethinking their votes on this. Now, whether they end up voting for Trump or Harris or how they're going to vote in the other races remains to be seen. But there apparently has been enough feedback on that particular issue that in the burbs, some of the moms are saying that is way too far. You're putting my kids in danger. And that is not just a moral argument. Now it's a policy argument and it's a safety argument, the way that we talk about police and fire and emergency services and the border. And a lot of people are thinking of it. Wait a minute, my kid, go ahead and great. Stop the illegal immigrating at the border. We want that. Keep the police funded. We want that. Keep the boy off of the lacrosse field with my daughter.
Yeah.
And especially out of the locker room. That is not about ideology. That is about safety and bodily autonomy.
Now, here's a question, kind of a spin on your initial question here. These, are you ready for this to be over? Is kind of how you presented it. But here's the thing: will it be over?
No.
And that's what I'm seeing now. It's like, you know what? Even beyond the election, this fight, because it feels so existential for a lot of us, I think this fight is just going to continue. It's just going to take different forms. Instead of a vote, Kamala, vote, Don, it's going to be this piece of legislation or this group versus that group or this new thing and this thing is happening in this local school and here's the other. I don't think this is going to end.
The 2026 election begins November 6th.
Oh yeah.
In some ways, the 2028 election begins November 6th.
Yeah, you're right.
As well.
You're
because regardless of what happens with the presidential race, and I don't know what's going to happen in the presidential race, on the Republican side, the watch becomes J.D. Vance and Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, exactly.
For 2028.
Yep.
But then you've got 2026, what's going to happen with the House and what's going to happen with the Senate. But there's not going to be surprises. Tammy Duckworth is getting reelected to the U.S. Senate. Mike Bost is going to be reelected to Congress. Bob Onder is going to be elected to Congress on the Missouri side. Mike Kehoe is going to be the next governor. David Wassinger is going to be the next lieutenant governor. Andrew Bailey is going to retain his spot. Vivek Malek is going to retain his spot. So, I mean, we've got there's not a lot of drama on Missouri and Illinois side. The biggest issue on the Missouri side, I think, is will people show up to vote against Amendment 3? And I understand there are a lot of people, more people than are willing to speak up publicly, because I've had the conversations in cafes and people are saying, I don't like any of the people at the tops of these tickets. I just forget it. I understand. If show up to vote against Amendment 3, leave the rest blank for all I care.
But definitely
make sure that you're there to vote against Amendment 3. And if you find other people to vote for or against, fine. But I know there are people who are really discouraged by what they're seeing. I get it. But on the Missouri side, we still need you to show up, get out to vote, and be there to push back against Amendment 3. We are close. It is within reach. But we've got to have everybody who knows right from wrong on this showing up and voting against it.
Turnout is always a big deal, and we get worried about the people who are apathetic. But I'm more worried about the people who do care, but they don't feel like it's worth going to the polls.
Right.
Like, come on, guys, you can't just give up. You can't be overwhelmed by this stuff. Right. Look, like you said, Mike, if there's only one issue that you vote for, please
right.
get out to the polls.
Precisely. And if you're saying, it takes so much time and I got other stuff to do. Okay, then make sure you get 2 or 3 people and then make it a lunch date right after that.
There you go. Hey,
coffee date or whatever.
And you can vote early.
Yes, you can do it now.
You don't have to
tomorrow,
stand in line. You starting tomorrow. You can make a lunch date. Go out to the county seat and then get lunch right after.
Right.
And by the way, if you vote early, take advantage of the opportunity to be able to follow your ballot through the system, because you can do that. And there are issues that have already started showing up. For instance, in Georgia, with ballots being votes being switched on ballots, and folks have reported that. MSNBC had a story over the weekend about it. So issues are popping up. So follow your ballot and make sure everything's okay.
Explain what you mean by follow your ballot.
Well, you can go online and you can follow it, I guess, through your county administrative positions. You can actually make sure that it's getting through okay.
There's a chain of custody
chain of custody thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it's like the little follow your pizza thing that Papa John's has. It has a little spinning pizza thing. There's a little wheels rolling.
Maybe I'll give Kurt Barr a call. See, to have him. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I'm not sure if you can do that everywhere.
Yeah.
But I know in Franklin County we can do that.
I know that if you go, I'll go to probably to the election board in St. Louis County, and they'll print up my ballot, and it's a paper ballot. I got to show my ID and everything that goes with it. And then, I know that it's in paper and it goes in, and I know that it'll be counted there. All right. 314-912-1019. Got some news to get you caught up on. And at 8:35, Kamala discovers religion and Donald discovers
burgers and fries.
Yeah, Happy Meals.
Happy Meals, yes. I still have to give away a couple of those.
All right, what'd you make of all of that from the weekend?
We give you news, analysis, opinion, and more. Only on News Talk STL. Mike Ferguson in the morning. With so much happening.
I think it was President Reagan said, we're from the government. We're here to help.
So much to talk about.
Our education secretary flubbing one of Ronald Reagan's iconic lines. 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
You never want to miss a moment.
There's nothing about this that shows anything good about Hamas.
On air, online, and always on your smart device.
The vast majority of those that were taken captive on that day are still there.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
The left, for months now,
one by one,
have been begging for a civil war.
Every caller gets their say.
We got to stop and not put these officers in situations where they feel like they have to overreact.
And whether you agree
We have to assume some responsibility because I'm a black man.
or disagree,
I think you're politically wrong.
I do not need athletes to tell me.
you're invited to join the conversation.
Thank you for canceling all your games. Now I get it.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
You know, one thing that I am really glad that I've done is I've worked with my friends at Window World now for a while, and over the weekend, I saw it again on these windows that I'm getting replaced. That condensation, those bubbles in the window when the weather changed, when we went from cold to warm and warm to cold, and that just confirmed I'm doing the right thing by having Window World replace those windows. Matter of fact, they are custom making the windows for my house right now, making them here in the United States. Mike Ferguson here for Window World. They are simply the best for less. The number to call is 314-993-1800. I am so excited to get these windows in. They'll be in soon. And that means that my home is going to be more energy efficient because of these windows. And Clint came out and was showing me the windows. I mean, it's funny because I had my appointment with him, just like you will when you call 314-993-1800, except Clint walked in and I'm like, hey, I know you're here to sell me some windows. And I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm already decided we're buying it. We're doing them. I need these windows because there's a draft coming in and out. And the windows that we've got in the house right now are, we're guessing 30 to 40 years old, and they've just worn out. But my Window World windows will never wear out because I've got that lifetime warranty that is going to cover all parts, glass breakage, and labor. But it was interesting because Clint showed me the technology that goes into that energy efficiency and the percentages that of energy efficiency that's going to happen, that's going to improve in my home. It's going to save us money. And we know that utility costs are going to go up, and we're going to mitigate a lot of that with these windows. So give them a call today, 314-993-1800. They've got 0% financing plans of up to 36 months with approved credit. I will tell you that Rachel and I are not using that just because the windows were so affordable that we're just taking care of the payment. It's not much at all. I was surprised, and I know they're the best for less. I keep telling you that. I've been telling you that for years, but I was still surprised at how affordable these windows are, despite the fact that they're double strength glass and they are Energy Star rated. So give them a call today, 314-993-1800. Now you want to do that sooner rather than later because these are custom made. They don't have them sitting around in a warehouse and say, okay, it's this size of window. Let's go grab them and put them in real quick. That's not how it works. They custom build these for your home. And you'll want to get that done sooner rather than later because the cold weather is going to be here before you know it. So once again, tell them Mike was talking about him on the radio, 314-993-1800. And remember, Window World is the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
To our brave police officers and first responders, we say thank you for risking your lives to protect us. To all the incredible volunteers who've joined hands with the David Dorn Foundation to raise funds for equipment and services, we extend our heartfelt gratitude. We stand strong with our volunteers who give their time, talent, and dedication as a shield of support for those who rush into danger. The David Dorn Foundation gives a big thank you from our heart to yours. Visit dornfoundation.com and join as a volunteer.
Hey, it's Tony Colombo inviting you to join my band along with Somebody to Love, Tribute to Queen, for an awesome night of music Saturday, November 30th at Diamond Music Hall. Join us as we kick off the season of holiday cheer with my band, Tony Colombo and the North County Sound Machine, featuring Katie Fitzpatrick, a tribute to Duran Duran, and Somebody to Love, a tribute to Queen. Support live local music and join us for a great party Saturday, November 30th at Diamond Music Hall. Brought to you by Weber Chevrolet. Get your tickets now at diamondmusichall.com.
The tides are changing.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
The Democratic Party doesn't stand with what I stand for.
News Talk STL.
Danny Define here with the Next Gen, all new time this Sunday at 8 p.m. Now pour up a hot cup of coffee and tune back into the Mike Ferguson Show.
To keep my hands on myself.
All right, the next 36 minutes here. Kamala finds religion and Donald finds, cheeseburgers. All right, the next ramp up of the election starts this week, particularly on the Missouri side of the News Talk area. And the local university is cutting jobs in order to cut the budget. Is wokeness not paying off? I don't know if there's a connection, but we'll see here. Let's dump some news on you.
The morning news dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks. The morning news dump.
All right, 8:24 right now. Of course, we talked last week about Vice President Harris announcing her economic plan for black men, specifically for black guys.
Specifically.
Yes. And that had to do with forgivable loans and criminal justice reform and a bunch of stuff like that.
And drugs.
And drugs, yes. And Congressman Byron Donalds was on Fox's Life, Liberty, and Levin over the weekend reacting to that campaign specifically to black men.
When she came out with that plan, basically it was free loans, which is just giving money away, and weed. And there's a lot of black men out here who are like, really? That's what you think of us? That is why the Democrats have been losing support amongst black men in particular, but men overall, specifically Kamala Harris.
And the Harris Walls campaign, they are actually backtracking, and they've got to step back because it was always just assumed that black voters would support the Democrats no matter what. And all of a sudden they're looking around going,
oh, where are my people at?
And how did this happen? Is Byron Donalds right?
Yeah, I think he's kind of hitting on something that I think a lot of us have been feeling, that there's been significant movement among black voters in general, but black men in particular, and men overall, really away from the Democrat Party because they've shown who they are too often. They've shown that they don't like us. They don't like the way we are. They don't like masculinity. And when they need us, though, they'll pander based on their false notions of who we are, and we don't like it.
And not only even just pandering, but what about also chastising?
Oh gosh,
I mean, with Barack Obama.
That's right. Yeah, he says, hey, that's not acceptable. So whatever, however the heck he said it. And yeah, it's like, wait a second, you're trying to tell me that I can't make a decision about my vote without you scolding me like I'm a child?
Yeah. How dare you think about voting?
Yeah.
For somebody else.
Yeah. See, in a hood, you chastise another man like they're a child, you about to throw hands. Yeah. That's how that's gonna go.
Oh man. See, that was the other thing. I thought that Kamala Harris should be saying free boxing gloves for everybody. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay.
Maybe not. Yeah.
All right. Get this. The Department of Justice is suing the Commonwealth of Virginia, accusing it of violating federal law. Yeah.
What'd they do?
Well, they are saying that Virginia is eliminating non-citizens from the voter rolls too close to the election.
Wait a minute. But they're not supposed to be voting, though.
Yeah, but they're waiting till the last minute, according to the DOJ. You can't just do that.
Why, though?
I know. Governor Glenn Youngkin.
Like, I don't get it.
Governor Glenn Youngkin was on Fox News Sunday responding.
When someone walks into one of our DMVs and self-identifies as a non-citizen, and then they end up on the voter rolls, either purposely or by accident, that we go through a process, individualized, not systematic, an individualized process based on that person's self-identification as a non-citizen to give them 14 days to affirm they are a citizen.
And this law that's in place to remove non-citizens from the voting rolls was signed into law by Democrat Tim Kaine in 2006.
Right.
And so the federal government is actually not saying you can't get rid of non-citizens off the voting rolls. They're saying, well, you waited too long. It's too close to the election. Now you can't do it. You should have done it before. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And even if you're going to go with the idea that, oh no, mistakes could be made and you could hurt people's voting chances, they have same day registration.
Right.
So if there is a problem with your registration on the day of, you can still place a provisional ballot. Right. They'll do an individual review. And if you were, illegally or mistakenly, accidentally removed from the rolls, your vote will count.
All right. It is 8:28 right now. On the Missouri side, no excuse early voting opens up tomorrow. As always, contact your election board or county clerk for times and locations if you want to take advantage of that. Okay, Elon Musk is promising to give away $1 million a day which to him would be like me opening my wallet saying, do I have a couple bucks in here?
There you go.
That's to me, to him, that's $1 million. He's going to give away $1 million a day to somebody who signs a new petition that he started online, which says you support the U.S. Constitution. He's already given out the first of the awards that happened at a rally for Donald Trump in Pennsylvania over the weekend. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who's a Democrat, was reacting to that on NBC News' Meet the Press.
Musk obviously has a right to be able to express his views. He's made it very, very clear that he supports Donald Trump. I don't, obviously we have a difference of opinion. I don't deny him that right. But when you start flowing this kind of money into politics, I think it raises serious questions that folks may want to take a look at.
And Musk, saying I'm going to give away $1 million basically a day, and it's all connected to the rallies and the campaigns. There are people saying this needs to be investigated. So far, the so-called experts have said, well, he's actually giving it away to somebody for signing a petition,
right,
drawing a winner, not for promising to vote or not for giving a donation. So technically at this point, it appears that what he's doing is legal.
Did Shapiro not see what Zuckerberg did? Does that not matter to him at all that Zuckerberg put in 454 million, whatever it was, to try and sway voters with ballot boxes everywhere, drop boxes?
That's different.
Doesn't matter to them.
That's different.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's totally different.
Or the in-kind donations of algorithm manipulation.
That's different.
Okay.
That's
All right.
different.
We're gonna skip over
This
that.
this one here is appealing with the other candidate. That's different.
By the way, you could be a Democrat and sign the petition to support the Constitution and still be in the running for the same $1 million.
You could win the $1 million, and then you can give it to whoever you want.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah, you can't win if you don't play.
You can't win if you don't play.
You remember those ads. All right, a couple things here real quick. SLU laying off 23 staff members. That in and of itself would not be big news, but they are also in connection with that. They have decided to not fill over 130 other positions that are vacant right now on their staff. That's part of a plan to cut their spending by $20 million for the current fiscal year. So that's a big number, and the current fiscal year means that they are trying to stabilize their spending. Now, SLU has money, but when they're making those kinds of cuts,
that suggests some
it
big
wonders that
things
they
happen.
either something's going on or they are concerned about avoiding something bad financially. All right. Also, the Blues off today. They do host the Jets tomorrow, so this has been a pretty long homestand for the Blues to start in this early part of the season. Blues are 4-2-0 so far. And in baseball, the World Series is set. It will be the Yankees. It will be the Dodgers. The series gets underway Friday in Los Angeles. Fox has that one. And the congratulations to the National League Championship Series MVP, former Cardinal Tommy Edman.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, was awarded that, playing now for, obviously, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Playing outfield mainly for the Dodgers and doing a great job. And he's got his hitting shoes on, too.
Yeah, now he's got a chance to get that ring. So I say wing. There's literally an eagle right behind you in the lobby.
In the lobby.
I'm going to go see it.
We get into this break. I'm going to go look at the eagle.
I think that might be Liberty. That might be his
that might be his name. Yeah.
Perfect.
And you're going to need to watch the Vic Porcelli show
Yes.
to see what the eagle's all about.
Yes.
Because I'm jealous. That's for sure.
Very much so.
All right. Kamala and Donald's Wild Weekend. Let's talk about that just ahead here on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL. I'm out of here.
Well, there you go again, listening to Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I call this layers weather, as in jackets in the morning and shorts in the afternoon. In fact, the next couple of afternoons, pretty warm for mid-October. I've got us at 80 today with mostly sunny skies and a south wind at 5 to 10. Back down into the low 50s tonight and early Tuesday, and then even warmer tomorrow, 82 Tuesday afternoon. And believe it or not, a chance of rain tomorrow. Now, it looks pretty spotty, looks fairly light. Let's be ready for a couple of passing showers. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Ching.
Fox News commentary.
Donald Trump edges out Kamala in the betting market average. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well, inside to outside. repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
While national and swing state polls remain tight, Donald Trump has pulled ahead in the betting market. Data from Polymarket suggests Trump is now leading in all key states. He recently claimed the swing state of Nevada 51% to 49% over Kamala. This latest data also represents the first time Trump has edged her out in all key states since VP Harris became the Democrat nominee. And while the betting markets are just one prediction metric, I'd say they are fairly reliable and an indicator of public and voter sentiment. It's also worth noting that Trump's numbers have become more favorable right around the time the Kamala campaign decided to ditch the basement strategy and start the media blitz. The more people see and hear from Kamala, the less they like her and the more they move in Trump's direction. There is no doubt this will be a close election, but if Kamala continues her media tour, things might just get better and better for her opponent. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
Dreaming of upgrading your outdoor space? STL Fenceworks is the choice for you. Our skilled craftsmen build custom fences from modern vinyl to classic ornamental, fitting your style and budget. Elevate your outdoor living with low-maintenance decks designed to relax and entertain. We choose only top-quality American-made materials, ensuring your project is built to last. Your satisfaction is our passion. With over 50 years of experience, custom designs, and exceptional customer service, visit stlfenceworks.com today.
Hey, Colombo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code Tony at Intervine.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
So many ways to listen to News Talk STL. Enable our Alexa skill.
Hello.
Hey, Alexa.
Yes, I'm listening.
Play News Talk STL.
Welcome to News Talk STL, conservative talk radio for St. Louis.
Bill O'Reilly here. Check out the O'Reilly Update this afternoon at 3:45. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
That eagle is so cool. So cool. Liberty the Eagle is in our lobby right now.
I was commenting to Gabe, you'll be amazed how big Liberty is once he's out of his traveling cage there.
Yeah. When I was in high school, we had one of like these bird sanctuary displays came to our high school.
Mhm.
And so they had a few of us, dudes, on the sports teams help carry the cages back to the van for the guy afterwards.
Right.
And I remember I was carrying a golden eagle.
Oh gosh, that's the biggest eagle.
That thing was so heavy. It was bigger than this one, and this is a big bird right there.
Yeah, the golden eagle is the largest species of eagle.
Yeah, and so I had to carry that thing and still look like I was tough and strong. It was no big deal. Man, I was worn out by the time I got there. But you forget how majestic these birds are.
Oh, yeah.
And during Vic Porcelli's show, especially if you're watching on video or watch on social media, they're going to have Liberty the Eagle in studio. It's a bald eagle. And the thing just looks majestic. We went down there. Of course, we're looking at this thing, and the eagle just looks at you like, I know I'm cool. I mean, didn't he?
Yes.
I mean, he just did.
He's like, Take a good look, son. That's how I always.
That's me.
Yeah,
I don't know
why I won over the turkey. That's why I'm the one.
America. F yeah.
I don't. Right. I don't know. I don't know what time he's going to be on, but it's worth it. So be sure that you're watching and listening as well. All right, 8:38 right now. What a weird weekend. Now I'm going to say weekend. I'm going to go back to Friday. So let's start with Kamala Harris, right? Because she ended the weekend at a church, promoting the get the souls to the polls, which is pretty catchy. I gotta give credit. That's clever.
That needs to be stolen immediately.
But why did she end up needing to push that on social media? Because on Friday, I think it was Friday, maybe Thursday, but I'm pretty sure it was Friday. She was doing a rally somewhere, wherever it was. And some hecklers got in there and they yelled, "Jesus is Lord."
Right.
That's all they yelled.
And this was during the the abortion portion of her speech, I believe.
So I've got the clip. Now you can't hear these guys yell "Jesus is Lord."
Right.
So you can hear everybody react to it, but when you got that little that's what they were yelling.
Right.
Is Jesus is Lord. You want to heckle the other side? I don't get it, but whatever. Here's how that went, and here's Kamala Harris really thinking she got those punks who said, Jesus is Lord. She really took it to them.
With the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
Yeah, I brought up the audio so you could hear everybody groan and get mad.
Yeah.
When somebody yelled Jesus is Lord. I'm like, guys, that's not an inherently political statement.
Right.
Was he obviously heckling? Sure. He was. I wouldn't waste my time going to a Kamala Harris rally myself, but if your reaction is disgust at somebody yelling that and you cheer when she goes, "You're at the wrong rally. You think Jesus is Lord, you're at the wrong rally." You realize you said more about yourself than them, right?
It's such a bad look. And the thing is, she said it with such attitude.
Yeah.
It was so fast too. So, this was her real feelings about what was just said. That's what happens when you get heckled. And maybe that actually is the value of heckling is you get people to respond immediately out of you pull them out of their speech. And she was not having it. She was not having any Jesus at her rally.
She was head bobbing and dancing. She was getting such a big response. She really thought she won that moment.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then what happened is they realized that didn't go over as well as you think it did.
See, and she stepped into it earlier in the week by not doing the Al Smith benefit dinner.
Catholics take that seriously in New York.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So that was an opportunity for her, and she missed it, and everything kind of fell apart after that.
Yep. And then she was.
He's out.
I know. Liberty the Eagle is now out of his cage.
Oh my gosh.
And then by the end of the week, she's speaking at a church called, ironically, as you pointed out, New Birth Church in Georgia, after taking it to those guys who said Jesus is Lord while she was talking about abortion. And this is part of what she had to say in that.
Faith and good works go hand in hand. And that is especially true when it comes to protecting our sacred right to vote and getting souls to the polls. And I thank everyone for all you are doing in that regard.
And they had a souls to the polls kind of social media push as well. So you've gone from get your Jesus out of here to let's solemnly talk about getting souls to the polls from the pulpit.
Yes, please. Yes. just curious, at what point in her pregnancy would Mary have been justified, according to Kamala Harris?
Pretty much right up to, yeah. And then Donald Trump, though, dominates the headlines by going to McDonald's and working in the drive-thru.
And this actually turned out to be a social media coup by the Trump campaign.
But see, that's what he does so well.
Yeah.
You got to give the guy credit. He interacts with people out on the street. He interacts with them in restaurants. He interacts with employees.
Yeah, those are real employees.
And that I find just fascinating to watch. He's able to have a really gentle, constructive conversation
interactions
with them.
You know,
and it's awesome to see him do that.
I could be wrong about this, but my guess is for security reasons, all of those employees who showed up to work that day had no idea this was going to happen, because you don't go tell
Oh gosh, no, you don't let them know
for security. So
Mhm.
you've got these like 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds who are just going to work at McDonald's. By the way, you got a new guy you got to train on drive-through.
Oh,
come
no.
on. Oh, hi.
Hello. Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So I'm just guessing they didn't know that was going to happen.
I'm pretty sure they didn't know. I mean, I think the owner gave them a heads up that there was going to be a VIP and they were going to shut down
Yeah.
the restaurant because there was a note posted in the window of the store that, hey, we're going to be closed. Sorry about the inconvenience kind of thing. And certainly based on the perimeter that was set up around that McDonald's, all of the people in the drive-through were properly vetted.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's pulling out their 38 on the former vice president, in the drive. Yeah, former president in the drive-through. So yeah, so at in that regard, you can kind of say, oh, the people's reactions in the drive-thru were a little overdone. He's like, okay, they're acting, but the employees, that was the real part.
So like, there's some guy who's like, there's that one kid who's going to be on a date someday, and he's like, oh yeah, I taught Donald Trump how to do fries. I mean, no, you did not. Shut up. This date's over. I'm leaving. No, really, I did. I
got video. I got video.
Oh, look, it's true. It happened. Look, this is me and Donald Trump. But then again, the way that it took over social media, and the funny part is, I'm like, it's a photo op. Relax, people. It's a photo. But is it a funny one? Yeah, because it was an expert troll of Kamala Harris who decided to, brag that she worked at McDonald's when she never did.
Right.
And so I'm like, I get that, but man, this thing took on a life of its own. And I'm like, it's funny, but relax, guys. It's McDonald's. It's a photo op. It happens.
Well, as much as people want to criticize it for being contrived or constructed or it's just a photo op, no big deal. I think it's often emblematic of the differences in how they present themselves to the public. Kamala Harris, even though she tries to embellish her street cred by, claiming to be, well, I'm from a middle class family. I grew up in a middle class, or I worked at McDonald's, or I used to smoke weed and listen to Tupac in college. Even
though Tupac wasn't even out yet.
He hadn't released anything yet while she was in college.
Yeah.
Now, as much as she likes to do that to try to relate to people, she feels very much unrelatable to a lot of people. A lot of people that when the way she deals with people, it's like,
she feels cold.
She feels cold and weird, when she tries to say, hey, fellow kids, I'm just like one of you.
Hello, fellow kids.
Hello, fellow kids.
Steve Buscemi.
Throws his skateboard over his back. But for some reason, Donald Trump, who comes from money, he is money.
Yeah.
He's very, very, but his ability to interact with, like you were saying, Stel, with regular folks who have regular jobs is endearing. And these two instances over the weekend, I think, were very emblematic of that issue.
And if the folks running Trump's campaign continue with those type of appearances, that's a big plus for him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And he needs to stop talking about other men's junk.
Yeah, please. Don't do that.
Because he had to stop during a campaign rally and brag about and admire the late Arnold Palmer's manhood.
Yes.
And if you think I'm kidding,
very
I'm
manly.
not.
He was very manly. He was all man. Oh man.
And when others showered with him, they thought, oh my God. He actually said that.
The ladies here are very sophisticated. They understand.
Yeah. The one part, even like, he's like, and I love the way he said, I'm like, don't. You're bringing back the grab him by the,
Stop it.
Jeez. What a weird election.
Think of all the stuff that's gone on in the past 3 months. It's hard to fathom everything that has gone on, including almost the assassination of a former president, millimeters from him being dead.
Which went out of the news in a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which we told you was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it did. It just, it makes me want to pick up.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Because I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
And the stronger the love, the deeper the devotion.
Like us on Facebook at News Talk STL. Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
There were times I almost let you go when I thought I needed to break free.
you were there to whisper in my ear. Why don't you share your dreams with me?
Hey, Columbo here for Rockwood Charcoal. Rockwood is made from 100% pure Missouri oak and hickory, so you're cooking with the best and supporting local industry and a local business all at once. There's over 100 area Rockwood retailers. Find yours at rockwoodcharcoal.com.
Tim Jones here for my favorite St. Louis Sports Bar and Grill experience, the go-to spot of Johnny's Hideout. Johnny's Hideout featuring over 40 big screen TVs to watch all the great games this college and NFL season. Awesome food specials every single day that I absolutely love. Bike nights, classic cars on Wednesdays, live music every weekend, and a fantastic time to visit the gorgeous Sunset Patio. Located just 10 minutes from 270 and Gravway, open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. onwards. All the information you need to know at jhideout.com. That's jhideout.com. Johnny's Hideout in High Ridge.
For over 50 years, Di Gregorio's Italian Market has been serving up a taste of Italy right here in St. Louis. Family owned and operated, nestled in the heart of the hill. From homemade sausage and meatballs to spadini, pizzas, pastas, and sauces, our wide variety of Italian specialties will transport your taste buds straight to Rome. For a truly authentic Italian shopping experience, visit your friends at Di Gregorio's. Shop local, shop Di Gregorio's Italian Market, where every bite tells a story.
Tony Colombo here for Zero Res, the cleaning pros we trust with our home, and the team bringing you a great offer for the month of October. Book a cleaning this month and mention the Colombo special, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129. Plus, you can take $75 off an air duct cleaning. Don't let the germs hiding in your home haunt your family. Call Zero Res now and take advantage of this scary good deal. Just mention the Colombo special when you call 314-474-2020 or when you book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Hi, Kirk Hilsinger here, and I'm the new chairman of the St. Louis Republican Central Committee. We are looking for election workers for the upcoming general election. We need patriots to step up and get involved. We also invite you to our meetings that take place the first Thursday of every month at 3710 Hampton Avenue. And we remind you to vote no on 3, yes on 7, and no on Prop A on November 5th. For more information, visit our new website at stl-gop.com. That's stl-gop.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Colombo and Company. On Monday, we'll catch you up on all the important news you need to know to start your week. Plus, we'll talk to Virginia Crudup from the Daily Wire at 2:20 and tech expert Mike McCleary from Intervine at 5:05.
Live and local weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Download the News Talk STL app.
Love the News Talk STL app. On my way to work in the morning.
Usually I'm in the car.
I listen on the app in my car every morning going to work.
Download the News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere.
Hey, this is Larry Connors. Make sure you're listening later today at 6 o'clock on News Talk STL for my show, Larry Connors USA. Now, back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Hello, my friend, meet again.
Gabe and I just geeked out.
Oh my gosh, so much.
I don't know what the context is, but Liberty, the bald eagle from World Bird Sanctuary here in the area, is in the station right now. He's going to be in the studio with Vic Borselli here in a little bit.
Just flew in.
Yeah,
That's
just
right.
flew in. Boy, are his wings
That's
tired.
right.
But not only that, but he's now out of his cage and
Yes.
he's hanging out with us.
Yes.
Just sitting and looking and being all freaking majestic and stuff.
Such a cool bird.
Oh my gosh, I love him so
man.
much.
So I don't.
Really
I
is.
have no idea what the whole segment's about, but I'm in. Man.
I'm excited.
So Vic Borselli from 9 to 11. All right. Boy, that was a lot of. I'm not playing that other. It's Donald Trump.
Oh, the
quote.
other. Yeah, please don't.
I'm just not.
Please don't.
It's too cringy.
Yeah.
It's
Cringy and
it was
weird.
way too cringy.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing that. But here's where we're going from the next, in the next 2 weeks. So the election is 2 weeks from tomorrow. And I'm definitely looking for, different topics. We're talking about local and stuff, but you are going to hear more on the presidential race. And I have not covered this thing, frankly, not even every single day, because on the Missouri and Illinois sides, as we've talked about, there's really no question as to what's going to happen with the electoral votes on each side. Everybody's amped up about the race, but I'm also keeping a spotlight on the ones that are closer to home that matter, frankly, every bit as much to our communities as well, if not more so. And I know people don't think of it in those terms. We think the higher up the race, the more it affects us, but not really.
Yeah.
So state representatives, state Senate, we've got propositions all over the place.
Mhm.
So we've got a lot of important stuff. Okay. earlier today, I don't know how we got there, Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think it was? I think it was Jay Monty was messaging me on Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Because he mentioned that he's a bachelor this week. His wife's out of town.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
On business. I'm like, well, me too. My wife's out of town this week as well. He goes, hey, are you a rebel when your wife's not there and change channels constantly? I'm like, well, first of all, if you wait till your wife's gone to do that, you're not being a rebel. I'm just pointing that out. And I don't really watch that much TV.
Right.
Some documentaries and stuff like that. But then we kind of went down a rabbit trail. What are the weird things that we watch?
Random.
Right. Just there are random weird things that I will watch, and I will watch, like the other day, I think it was yesterday, actually. I don't remember which channel it was, but it's on one of those like Freevee or Tubi or one of those. They got one of the streaming channels, and it's like the House Hunters thing, but it's focused entirely on log cabins.
Right.
And I could sit and watch that all day long.
Oh, sure.
And it's like a family, they go in, they look at 3 of them, and then they pick out which one. And I'm like, no, I know which one I want.
Has to be a log cabin.
But it has to be a log cabin. And they will do this all over the country. There was one episode in Innsbruck.
Oh, wow.
So there was one here, but they're all over the place. And it's one of the weird things that I will watch.
And you bringing up that story reminded me of the one weird thing. I won't say it's weird, but an interesting show that I found not too long ago. And I can't even remember what service it was, but it's like Tiny Home Nation or something like that.
I've seen that.
And it's actually based on a company in Missouri, and I can't remember exactly where we're at, but they make custom tiny homes out of old shipping containers.
Yeah, which you may think that's weird, but those look pretty cool, actually.
Oh, yeah. And the way they do it is really neat, too, where they take the container, they put spray foam up for the insulation. Then they put up this kind of really super thin framing, and then they could put up walls. So it just looks like a house inside. It's insulated and all that stuff. And then they fill it with old utilities and all the things. And we were talking about how their usage of space in tiny homes is really fascinating, where this thing folds into this thing, and then this thing comes out, and the bed folds down from here, and it used to be the couch, and now it's the the futon or whatever.
Right.
So, and it's just kind of neat watching those things happen.
It's really fascinating how creative they can be with that in the engineering.
Mhm.
Now, the show is called Tiny House Nation. Right. I think is what it's called.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And it's the same 2 guys that are like specialists in this, and there's a build out every week. And it's like, we're a family of 3 and we want to live in, literally like 150 square feet or something like that. It's crazy.
That's the thing I find where I find the people who go on these shows the weirdest.
Yes.
It's like, first of all, there's the people who with the tiny homes, and they've got like 6 kids and a dog and something like, how are you going to fit in there? And then there are the people in like the House Hunter shows they're looking it's like she makes jewelry on Etsy, and he wraps on the side and our budget is $540,000.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, which one of you is the drug dealer?
Right.
This is my question.
You know what the secret part is regarding tiny homes? Nobody knows this, but the basements are huge.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be.
Oh, that's the trick. Okay, so the entire house is actually downstairs.
Yes.
Okay, I got you now.
Because when you see what they put together, I'm like, that's really cool and very creative, but I wouldn't want to live in a place that small.
I mean, it looks like a good vacation spot. It's like, I could do that on a vacation.
It's a weekend.
Yeah, I mean, like not on a week or something like that. And maybe if I'm by myself, if I'm I could live there as a bachelor, but not as a
married. Like, tiny home is not even a bed and breakfast. It's just bed.
Right. and like kettle stovetop.
Yes.
I mean,
and barely breakfast.
Pretty much. Exactly.
Bed and bear claw.
Oh man. All right. So what are the weird things that you watch? I think we should try that this week to say, what are the weird things? Because somebody out there has got some weird show that I don't know about yet, and I need to know about.
I haven't even gotten into the anime I watch.
Oh.
Hungry for the best steak you'll ever have? Head to the heart of Moscow Mills and discover Harry J's, a local landmark and family-owned steakhouse, serving up excellence since '98. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts, Harry J's has something for everyone. Enjoy our extensive bar selection while soaking in our friendly family atmosphere. Whether dine in or carry out, your meal is prepared to perfection. Make the drive to 300 Main Street and treat yourself to a taste of Moscow Mills' finest. Harry J's, more than a steakhouse. We're a tradition.
Man, what a great party you're throwing here. This wasp nest is great.
Yeah, man, we got about 70 wasps in here.
Too bad we can't fit any more wasps in here. It looks like they're having fun outside, stinging all the kids. Oh, man, who just pulled up?
Oh, no, it's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They seem to kill every one of my parties.
This is